Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026, and the time is 6 p.m. We will now turn to the city clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Turkin,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz, Commissioner McCray, Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation tonight will be by Vice Mayor Turkin, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by me. Let's all stand for the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant us wisdom in our decisions, clarity in our discussions, and integrity in our actions. Help us lead with humility, listen with respect, and to always put the needs of our residents first. Guide this body to work together in good faith, setting aside differences to pursue what is right and just for the city of Boynton Beach. Watch over our first responders, our service members, and all those who protect and strengthen our community. We ask for your continued blessings of this city and its people. Amen.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We are now moving on to the, hold on, let's get settled in. Give me 1 second. We are now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's begin on my left with Commissioner McCray.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to pull under consent bids and purchases, item 7C.
Commissioner Kelly.
No, Mayor, thank you.
Vice Mayor Turkin.
No, the mayor.
Commissioner Cruz.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
We have a motion to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. We will now move on to additional items by members of the City Commission. Let's begin on my right with Commissioner Cruz.
Nothing for me, thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Turkin.
Nothing right now. Thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Kelly.
Mayor, I just wanted to, I attended the Parks and Recs Easter egg hunt on Saturday. It was out at Ezel Hester on the football field, and there was so many eggs. I think in the older group, there was just too many, and it was a great success. So I just wanted to thank Parks and Rec and all of city staff that was out there. They all worked. It was a beautiful day to be out there collecting Easter eggs, and just thank you to staff for doing a great, putting on a great event as always. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McCray.
Thank you, Mayor. I met with Jonathan Carlake of Global One, is this on, Investment Group in regards to the property that's located across from Boynton, the Bible Church of God. It was a very informative meeting because he wanted me to understand what he was trying to do on that property. And he said, wow, at least we're doing some things here in Boynton. I met with a representative, rather 3 representatives from Inca.
Is your mic on?
Mic on.
Is that better?
There you go.
You want me to sing now? I met with 3 representatives from Inca in regards to things that they wanted to see happen in their community. They gave me a list, and I brought the list back, and I was able to give it to our deputy city manager, Andrew Mack. And I told him, do the best you can, but we're going to get these things done. So I gave them my word, so that is what we're going to do. On our community meeting at Carolyn Sims Center, I would like to say thanks to Reverend Wade Whiteley, Reverend Dames, our city manager, Dan Duggar, the police chief, Dan DiGiulio, and representatives from the MPO. The meeting was excellent. Everyone there gave their participation. Also, there was a commissioner, county commissioner, Bobby Powell, who brought some insight to some things that we was requesting to be done. And he said, well, you need to come to certain meetings, and he gave us an outline. It was a very informative meeting, and I'm looking forward to our next community meeting, and I'm inviting everyone on the last Monday of each month, if you're not busy, Please come out and participate so we can find out what you need and what we can get done. Mayor, thank you.
You. Moving on to city announcements. Staff, please come to the podium to announce your event.
Okay. All right, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, and City Managers. My name is Amanda Onda. I'm the Division Director of Events. I am here to invite everyone to our third annual Taste of Boynton Food and Wine Festival, scheduled for Saturday, April 18th at Centennial Park and Amphitheater, and it's from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The residents will enjoy an evening of culinary tastings, drinks, entertainment, and great company while exploring the diverse food scene of Boynton Beach, which makes our city so special. This year, the entire event is VIP, so all guests are ticketed, and the event is a 21 and over event. We'll have unlimited tastings from 24 local restaurants. That's going to take place from 5 to 8 p.m. A full sip experience, including wine, cocktails, and specialty beers, live cooking and cocktail demonstrations, a flair bartending show, professional entertainment from also a Boynton resident, Marcia Mitchell Music, an artisan market and immersive photo booth. Everyone who attends is receiving a tote, a branded tumbler, and a glow stick. Then at 8 p.m., we have a glow party with food trucks available for purchase, an arcade with a golf simulator and axe throwing, and then a 10-piece band with fire dancers to end the evening. So it's a lot more than a food and wine festival. It's going to be a fun experience. Our tickets are on sale now. Please refer to the City of Boynton Beach website. It also has the parking locations and the shuttles. And please reserve your spot now before we sell out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
For the first presentation on the agenda, we will have a legislative update by Senator Lori Berman and Representative Rob Long.
Lower one or the... Good evening. Hi, everyone. I'm Senator Lori Berman. I have the honor and privilege of representing Boynton Beach, and I'm here with my colleague, Representative Rob Long. I have been in the legislature now for 8 years in the House and 8 years in the Senate, and we have term limits. So this is my last year. I will be done in November, so this is probably my last legislative report that I'll be giving to you. As you all know, we have one job to do in Tallahassee, and that is to pass a balanced budget. And unfortunately, the legislature failed to do that job. We recessed on time at the end of our normal 60-day session without a budget, so we will be going back to do a budget. There was rumor that we were going to go back on Monday, but it doesn't look that way at this point. We are going back Monday, the following Monday, April 20th, to do a congressional redistricting map that a special session that the governor has called for. So possibly then, it has to be done by July 1st. We had the same situation happen last year. The same players are involved, the same Speaker of the House and the same Senate President who can't seem to figure this out. Right now, we have in the Senate, we proposed a $115 billion budget, and in the House, which is slightly less than last year. In the House, they have proposed a $113.6 billion budget. So we are only off by $1.4 billion, which is less than 1% of the total budget. So I would hope that we could figure out where we are and move forward. I am happy to tell you there are some projects from Boynton Beach in the budget right now, particularly water distribution system improvement and a sewer collection improvements for Bent Tree and Lime Tree. Right now, we have $250,000 for the water distribution and $500,000 for the sewer collection system improvement. Hopefully, we only are in each different, one in the House, one in the Senate. Hopefully we'll match up and we'll be able to bring some money back for Boynton Beach. I will tell you, our legislative delegation, that is always a priority to bring back money for our cities and our county. You want to go ahead and then okay, all right. So I like to talk a little bit about, to you about preemption. So preemption is when we in Tallahassee make the decision that we are going to override your authority and your ability for home rule. I am very against it. I believe that the government closest to the people is the government that understands what goes on in their city. We have over 400 cities in the state of Florida. They're all very different. When you start doing preemption, it becomes a problem. This session, over roughly 2,000 bills were filed, and only 200 bills, 240 or something, made it through the finish line. But I will tell you, an inordinate number of those bills included some kind of preemption, unfortunately. I think there were something like 10 bills that have various preemptions in them. So I want to just give you like a brief explanation, and then I'll let my colleague go into detail on some of the other ones. One of the bills says that you cannot regulate gas-powered leaf blowers here in your city. One of the bills says that you cannot do anything that would be considered adopting or implementing policies to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emissions. So that includes things like making decisions on having electric buses. We asked questions about that. You can do it as long as you're not doing it for a environmental reason. You can do it if it's financially a better position for the city. So that's a little troubling. The other bill that we spent an inordinate amount of time on, at least in the Senate, I believe in the House too, was 1341, which says that cities and counties cannot have any diversity, equity, or inclusion policies. And as part of that, you can't spend any money on any programming that would qualify for it. So there were a lot of questions raised. For instance, can you have Black History Week here and here in the city of Boynton Beach? And so what they did is every time these questions were raised, they put another exemption in the bill. So now, yes, there's an exemption for a federally recognized holiday, but it's very confusing to say, the activity that you're proposing, does it fall within one of the exemptions? For instance, Delray has a very big St. Patrick's Day parade. If they spend money on that, is that going to be targeting one particular ethnicity? It's a really confusing bill. I found it very troubling. And the problem with the confusing bill is that has a chilling effect then, because people are afraid to do anything. So, and we don't know how it's going to be interpreted. So that's a really tough bill. We did do a utility bill. So if you provide any water, sewer, natural gas, or electric systems to outside the city, you are now, you have to have written agreements, and you can only have a rate differential of up to 25%. You are not allowed to go above that amount. The other bill that we did that will very much affect every single city, and it's been talked about for many years, and it probably was time, but it was difficult, is we raised the limits of sovereign immunity. So right under the new proposal, which I don't think it's been signed yet, but I think the governor probably will sign it. It's $350,000 per person and $500,000 per incident. So if you are sued as a city, in all likelihood, the people are going to put in those higher limits. A lot of claims will probably settle for those limits. So it might cost you extra money, as well as whatever insurance that you have on that issue. The rates had not been raised in a very, very long time. So this was a compromise. I will tell you, I was the minority leader this year, and I met with the League of Cities every single week, and they worked really hard to mitigate a lot of the attacks on cities. And they took bills that were very troubling and made them a little less troubling, and that was one of them. I will let my colleagues speak to you about some of the building preemptions that we did.
Thank you, Senator, and good evening, Madam Mayor, and to the commission and the city manager and the city attorney. This is my first time addressing this commission in this role, and it's an honor to be here, and I'm really excited to be representing Boynton Beach going forward, and I look forward to a productive relationship with all of you. And I have to say, we just came from the Delray City Commission, my old home, and man, you guys blow it out of the water here. What a beautiful city hall. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that, but I'm saying it. And this dais is like kind of tailor-made for the senator and I. It's pretty solid. So, you know, the senator and I kind of have this road show where we've been doing all these different updates, and the senator does a really comprehensive job, and I just get to chime in at the end. I have the easy part. But I did want to reference a bill that we just talked about with the city of Delray because it impacts them directly and could have an impact here. That's House Bill 803, which mandates that revenues that you get from the permitting process cannot be used on capital improvement projects. And that just impacted the city of Delray's ability to build a new design services annex, which was very unfortunate for them. And I think probably the most egregious preemption that we saw up there, which was the theme this session for whatever reason, was probably the DEI one, because we don't fully know the impacts of that. And the cultural events that I know Boynton does and many other cities do could be very impacted by that. The penalties to the elected officials are very serious. If you misstep on that, and we don't have a clear scope of what that even looks like right now. And we know how much these events do drive the economy in our cities, and so we're all very concerned about it. It was a bad bill, but I will say the silver lining is many bad bills were passed in my chamber, the House, that were blocked by the Senate. Thank God we have Senator Berman really working hard along with a lot of her colleagues to take, not only block some of these bills, but take the teeth out of some of them and make them slightly more palatable. But it's interesting. I'm new up there, and so I'm still, trying to understand the dynamics up there. And so many of my colleagues came from local government, so I don't understand the mindset of all the preemptive measures being taken up there. And I'm hoping it's just a phase or a trend that dies out. But we are seeing a lot of that, and it's something that I'll continue to advocate for home rules, as well as the senator has for many years now. But one positive note I'll leave you with, which I know is something that will be very important specifically to this commission. As I'm sure many of you know, I was actually finishing the late Representative Joe Casello's final year, would have been the last year of his last term in Tallahassee. And he, Joe being a former commissioner here and a former firefighter, we were able to pass the Joe Casello Act this year. It was passed unanimously through both chambers. It was a bill that I had the privilege of working with Joe on back in 2022. And what that bill does is it limits PFAS, which are the forever chemicals that we've all heard about, which are the chemicals that can contaminate groundwater. And once they get into your system, they're almost impossible to get out of your system. They're linked to cancer rates and all kinds of bad stuff. Our firefighters have been using what they call AFFF foam for years for training purposes, and it's linked to these heightened cancer rates. The language of that bill does is it mandates that they phase out using those types of chemicals in the firefighting foam that they train with. So I was able to help bring that bill back, and then it got unanimous co-sponsorship. So basically, they opened it up on the floor in the House, and every single member signed on as a co-sponsor, and we named it after Joe Casello, and then it passed unanimously through the Senate as well. And that one was signed by the governor, and so it is now going to be law. It was a great way to pay homage to Joe Casello's legacy and what would have been his last year up there. And so I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. Thank you. And as the senator mentioned, we got some more work to do to wrap up this session. And I don't know, I assume we'll probably be back here to give you an update after that wraps up. Who knows when, but hopefully early summer at the latest. Thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to answer any questions. I will tell you that we do occasionally do some bills that are a little more fun. I like to conclude with those. So we tried for the second year in a row, and we're unsuccessful to get the state bird changed to the flamingo. But unfortunately, we're still stuck with the mockingbird, I think. So on that happier note, we're happy to take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
I have one.
Please.
Yes, Senator Berman, you've made mention in the congressional redistricting. Will Florida lose a seat, pick up a seat, or will we remain the same?
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
I'm going there.
Right, good, we like it, we like it. We don't know. We have not seen any maps. We haven't been privy to any information. We were told that this redistricting is being done because there is a Supreme Court opinion out there which says that, Supreme Court opinion coming. There's a Supreme Court case where they are challenging the ability to have districts that are drawn based on minority-majority districts. That Supreme Court opinion has not come down. So it's going to be very interesting if we do proceed with this, with the special session without a Supreme Court opinion. We don't know what basis there would be. We don't have a new census. Nothing has changed in the 5 years since the last census was done. So very difficult to predict what kind of actions will happen in the
I have
redistricting.
another question. Since you all will be going back, I'm just saying, have you all seen a preliminary map?
No, we have not. And we're actually not even allowed to talk about this technically.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry,
no,
I
it's
didn't know.
okay because we don't have any information,
Yeah, we don't have
so
anything
it's
to talk
fine.
about.
Yeah, we don't have
We
anything.
know as much as you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, and I'm happy also if you would like us to talk a little bit about the property tax issue. That is something we
Yeah.
left out. We should probably give you a little
Yes, yes.
update on what's going on that. So the House passed a bill, and I'll let my colleague explain it a little better because I don't understand it 100%. To me, it sounds crazy. The Senate did not pass any property tax bill at all. And so and the governor has said he wants to do a property tax referendum, but he hasn't said what he wants in it. In order to have a change to our property taxes, it will have to be a constitutional amendment, and everybody will have to vote on it. It will be on the ballot in November. I believe there will be something on the ballot in November, but I urge everyone in this room and everyone on the dais to really study whatever proposal comes forth. We don't know what the proposal is going to be. He'll explain the House one a little bit more in detail. But there are ramifications when you start changing property taxes, especially for cities and counties. And does that mean that your trash won't be picked up as often? Your parks are going to be closed. Your roads won't be paved as often. So everybody loves the idea of having a property tax break, but we need to understand what is going to happen if we do a property tax break, how it will affect everyone before you make the decision on how you're going to vote on that issue. There are some things I'd like to see. I'd like to see us maybe raise the exemption and also look at the issue of portability because it's a real problem right now. We get only a $500,000 exemption, and it's in a county like Palm Beach County. It doesn't make sense, and people aren't able to really sell their homes and move to another home, which stops the whole process here in Palm Beach County. So there are things that could happen, but right now, I'll let you explain what the House put forth.
Senator Berman, before you go, I'm just saying you made mention about property taxes, and people want to save on property taxes, but they need to be mindful that when we start cutting property taxes, we're going to have to start taxing some other things.
Right.
And you need to say that so that they will know what we have to have services. I'm just saying, and this is the way we pay for services for all the citizens here in Boynton.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I feel like we're preaching to the choir when we talk about being concerned about a property tax cut. You all know full well what those ad valorem revenues are used to fund. That's how you pay for your services and the level of service that your residents have come to expect and deserve here. So the House version was a pretty wacky bill, frankly, so much so that even the governor said it was confusing in a recent interview. It basically phased out all property taxes. I do think that one had carve-outs for school district taxes. Might have had some for law enforcement. I'm not even sure if it did. But it had no implementation language, so we had no idea how it would implement it. And everyone was confused by it. And we never got clear answers for where is the money coming from? How are we backfilling these revenues? That's the big question. And no one seems to have an answer for it. And so what we say is, many of us, is that this isn't a tax cut, it's a tax shift. Because these revenues have to come from somewhere, and the question is where, and no one has a plan. And so luckily, the Senate did not take up that version of the bill. But as the senator alluded to, something will be taken up. We don't know what that looks like. Best case scenario is that it is an expansion of our existing homestead exemption, and we'll see what that looks like. But it's something we'll be working out over the next few weeks and hopefully have an update for you. But we will be in many ways working with you, relying on you to help us educate residents. And the last thing I'll leave you with on that front is there was a recent article in Florida Politics that said they did some preliminary polling on this issue, and based on that, some of the language that's out there now, they don't believe they would be able to reach the 60% threshold needed to pass this on a referendum. So this is not necessarily a popular issue. I think folks see through the sort of very attractive claim that they could not have property taxes and immediately are like, where's the catch? When does that other shoe drop? And so hopefully there's a version of this that's very reasonable we can agree on, but if not, it's going to be an education campaign for all of our constituents so they're not voting against their own interests. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Thank you. First, Senator Berman, I was looking at your paperwork, and I just wanted to acknowledge and thank you for the bills that you worked so hard on with regard to dating violence and domestic violence. I think those are key issues in our community that we've seen a huge uptick, especially since COVID. And so anytime that we can pass good bills that protect the victims in our city, in our county, and in the state is a win. So thank you for all of your hard work and efforts in that, because I know that that is a passion of yours. So thank you. Representative Long, you mentioned, I just have one quick question with regard to the foam and the PFAS legislation. What does that bill allow for as far as timing of removal of those? And also, I mean, will come at a great expense to municipalities and the county. What does the bill address either of those as it pertains to the timing of changing over that equipment and any costs associated with that?
Yeah, I'd have to give you the exact timeline, but it's a pretty long timeline that it gives folks to phase it out. And it's already federally being phased out. This just ensures that in the meantime, because so that was going to happen anyway, more or less. This just ensures that while it's being phased out federally, that firefighters aren't still using it, because it's stockpiled all over the state. And it also offers some additional language on how to safely dispose of it, so it's not being put in other areas and recontaminating other areas.
Right. Yeah, I think we're staying on top of that. Adam, I believe that we are staying on top of changing that equipment over, but I'm glad that now the state is following the federal, guidelines on that. So thank you. Thank you both for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, moving on. For the second presentation on the agenda, we will have a presentation on fraud in the community. I see, is it going to be you doing it, Mr. Caruso? Yes. Okay. Because we had it as Walter. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Shelton
Welcome.
and Vice Mayor Turkin, commissioners. Excited to be here tonight, and a great job by our state senator and state representatives tonight. They covered the turf, and I'm just so glad I'm not up there in Tallahassee right now. When your only job is to pass the budget and they don't get that done and they have no clue how it's going to get done, it's not normal business going on up there right now. So, and Representative Long, he just got in and he shows up for this nightmare. But some major challenges await us, I'm afraid. So. But right here we are. I think you were supposed to have Walter Boykus,
Correct.
one of my chiefs at the clerk's office. I'm Mike Caruso. I got appointed to be clerk of court and comptroller of Palm Beach County back in August of 2025 by the governor, and very excited. When I got appointed, I had 5 priorities that I wanted to face, and those were to modernize the vendor payment system in our county. We spend $10 billion a year. And in the county level, it's all approved by hand. and it's not digitized. So we're working on that. We're advocating for a statewide unified searchable database so that you don't have to search in 67 counties when you come to Florida and you need to look something or somebody up. Say the criminal record or something like that. Right now you have to go to all 67 counties to find that. We want one searchable database. Maintains conservative and sound investment policies. I'm in charge of investing the county's $6 billion in reserves. And last year, fortunately, we were able to earn $222 million in interest from those investments, which was exciting. And if you think back to 2022, we earned about $24 million. So we went from $24 million in 2022 to $222 million last year, 2025. Protect citizens of our county against fraud, against guardianship abuse, and to protect citizens from property deed frauds and other scams. To quote Ann Gegas of the Palm Beach Post, "'Tis the season for scamming." Right now, people are getting fake phone calls. I'm sure everybody here has gotten texts today, asking you for money, saying you haven't paid your parking ticket, your speeding ticket, whatever it is, and it's coming from, they act like it's coming from the clerk's office or that it's coming from law enforcement, PBSO, or the Department of Highway and Motor Vehicles, and they try to scare you into complying and turning over all your money to them. It's so bad. Last year, according to the Federal Trade Commission, there was $12.5 billion in fraud through scams. Understanding that over 90% of these scams are not reported because people get embarrassed that they were taken by a scammer. They really estimate the total cost to be $160 billion from Americans last year. And of course, Florida ranks #1 in the country for scamming. About 1 out of every 1,000 residents are subject to scams in the state of Florida. And they're no longer scams about, you have an inheritance of $10 million from a Ugandan prince, and if you'd only pay the service fees on that, we'll send it over to you, or the $20,000 to cover the taxes. Not like that, nor is it you owe the IRS $4,500 and an IRS agent will meet you in the parking lot of Home Depot and you can give them gift cards to pay for those taxes. No, they've got it down to a science. In fact, the scammers now focus group their scripts. They're so good. They're so good that there's one scam I'm going to tell you about. They called me. Okay, I'm the clerk of court. And it sounded so good. I picked up the phone, my wife's phone, and I called Sheriff Rick Bradshaw. And I go, Rick, I tell him, he says, hang up, Mike, it's a scam. And I went, it's good. He says, I know, and a lot of people get taken for it. But give you an idea of what's out there. The scams that are really proliferating through our county right now is a traffic ticket scam. And that one is, they either text you or call you up, they get in contact with you, and they say, this is the clerk's office, and you failed to pay your ticket. It's due tomorrow at 5 o'clock, the sense of urgency, if you understand. And if you don't pay it, your license is going to get suspended, and if you get picked up, your car will be impounded, you'll go to jail, and your fines will double. And we know that, well, that's just not true, okay? It doesn't happen like that. My office will never call you to collect money on a traffic ticket of any sort. We just don't do that. And they go through, they transfer you to another agent, a deputy clerk, and they say you can pay by credit card, and they charge you the 4% fee on the credit card. That's how good they are, okay? It legitimizes it. So just understand, if somebody calls you up and eventually gets to the point where they want money, it's a scam. It's not maybe a scam. It's not possibly a scam. It's always a scam. In fact, if you believe this much of what they're saying is true, okay, but you have one peppercorn seed of doubt, mustard seed, that's even smaller, okay? If you have even a mustard seed of doubt, understand it's a scam, okay? Don't give your, if I say, when in doubt, don't give your info out. So there's a jury duty scam, okay? And that's the one I almost got caught on, okay? And it was a Palm Beach Sheriff's officer, a real name of a real officer. You Google him, there he pops up. Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, sir, you failed to show up for jury duty. I'm the freaking clerk. Okay? If you failed to show up for jury duty and there's a warrant out for your arrest, and you say, but I never got the jury summons. And they go, well, that's regardless of that, sir. If we don't get this taken care of, you're subject to arrest. And so, well, what do I do? And they pass you on to another lieutenant in the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, who says, okay, he can arrange for payment. So I called Rick Bradshaw. Okay, Rick Bradshaw said this, Mike, if there's a warrant out for your arrest, I won't call you to give you advance notice. I'll just show up at your house. I'll knock your door down. I'll force you to the ground, put your hands behind your back, and take you to prison. That's how we deal with people that have a warrant out for their arrest. No courtesy calls to let you know we're coming. So, and now, but here's the big one. No longer do these scammers, nobody wants the stuff in your house anymore. You know, your furniture, your TV, your VCR. Does anybody have a VCR anymore? Okay, they don't want that anymore. They want your house. And what they're doing is they're coming into the clerk's office, into the courthouse. They're filing a deed, okay, a quitclaim deed. And they're forging your name and they're forging notary's name to it. And all of a sudden, you've transferred your home for $10 and other consideration to a bad guy. Within a week, they borrow on the property. Within a month, they sell it. You find out that you've lost your home when somebody knocks on your door, okay, and says, who are you? And you say, I'm the homeowner. You say, no, we just purchased this property this morning. What are you talking about? You need to leave. So you go, okay, well, I'm going to call the police. And they go, yeah, call the police. I'm going to call them myself. So everybody's calling the police. The police show up. Guess who ends up in a hotel that night? You do, because all the paperwork says they own the home and you're trespassing. So you get a couple hours, maybe, if you're lucky, if they're nice, to grab all your personal stuff and leave. And then you call. So what we've got, and here's how bad it is. You say, well, it'll never happen to me, right? 1 out of 1,000 people in Florida get scammed. Here's how bad it is. Here's how fast it's escalating, this property deed theft. 2 years, according to Alexia Cox, our state prosecutor, 2 years ago, we had 4 cases in Palm Beach County. 650,000 properties, 4 cases, not so bad. A year ago, we had 32 cases. Last year, we had 184 cases. This year, we're over 500 cases. In 2027, I expect 8,000 cases. Okay, that's 1 out of 80 people. One of us in this room won't be living in Boynton Beach next year in 2027 because our home will have been stolen. And that's how bad it's gotten. So what's the answer, okay? Well, the answer is I went up to Tallahassee this year to try to get more tools in my toolbox to stop this as clerk, okay? A bill was filed, but it never made it through anywhere. As Senator Berman said, 200 out of 3,000 bills got passed. Our bill to help fight property fraud did not get passed. But we'll go back next year, we'll fight it again. But in the meantime, what you can do is you can sign up for a property fraud alert. If you go to mypalmbeachclerk.com/PFA, property fraud alert, you attach your email address to your property. And the moment somebody files anything against your property, a quitclaim deed or a mechanic's lien or anything that goes against your property, we will email you and let you know that it happened. There'll be a link there to click on it to see what it is. Now, if it's your plumber who's redoing your kitchen and he's filed a mechanic's lien, well, at least you know he filed a mechanic's lien, and you need to, when you make your final payment to him, have him present a satisfaction of lien. But if it's a quitclaim deed for $10 and other consideration to some guy in Venezuela, that's probably a scam. You probably had your property stolen. You need to call our office immediately, and what we'll do is have you file a report with the sheriff, we'll have you then come into the courthouse. You'll fill out an application for a quiet title. And we'll help you fill that out because you're going to be a wreck. Somebody's stealing your home. And we'll help you fill that out. And then we'll have a judge waiting. And the judge will review the case. He'll sign off on it. And then we will immediately file it. Hopefully, it's all happening in the same day. And then your home's protected. And then the job is to get that fraudulent deed taken off your title. But you don't have to worry about any money being borrowed against your home or getting kicked out of the home if it was sold. So that's what we've got going on. We are signing people up on that mypalmbeachclerk.com/PFA by the thousands. I'm not going to stop till all 650,000 properties are protected by our property fraud alert. And even then, I'm going to make sure we continue to go up to Tallahassee this coming fall and make sure that legislation gets passed to keep it from happening. And it's happening everywhere. Palm Beach County is a highlight. And if I could just point out, if you are over 65, you've paid for your home, meaning you have no mortgage, and that your mailing address for your property is different from the home address, the property address itself, you're a number one high-risk target, okay? So I'll open it up for questions if you like. I appreciate the opportunity. Yes, Commissioner McCray.
Thank you. I have two really. How many of these are AI generated, the fraud alert? How many of those that you're speaking about, a percentage are AI generated?
Well, what they are doing, using AI to find these properties that are at high risk. And I don't know how many are come through that, but I know they are using AI in order to generate property targets that don't have a mortgage on them. They're owned by somebody over 65 years old, and that they.
Okay, stop. You
yes,
missed me. I'm talking about the ones that call and say, you have to appear for jury duty. You have you owe somebody some money and stuff. Those.
Oh, almost all of them.
All of those.
Yes.
Okay, you gave us the one about protecting our property. Is there any way that we can get that sent to us or something so we can reach our constituents? Because a lot of people did not get what you said to write it down. I'm just saying.
Okay. You can
Talk
go on.
fast like I do.
Well, I could slow it down if you want, but if everybody has a cell phone right now, if they take it down, I'll give you my cell phone, and it's 561-702-9319. If you text me, I will text you back the website of where you go to sign up for Property Fraud Alert. That's 561-702-9319. My phone just died about 2 minutes ago. Okay, but no, it is here. But
Vice Mayor Turkin, you have a question?
But I'll have it charged in the car in a little bit.
Not a question. I just wanted to thank you for coming and appreciate all the work you're doing. I've been watching you online with
Thank you.
with the clerk's office, and I can't remember the last time we've had the clerk come and speak before us. So that means a lot in your leadership. And in Boynton Beach, we have a very large vulnerable community with our 55 plus residents,
Right.
and this seems to be the largest target of that. And so we just appreciate everything you're doing for our residents.
Thank you, and Vice Mayor. When somebody breaks into your home and steals your jewelry or your TV or something like that, that's a bad day, a bad week, maybe a bad month. When they steal your home, that's a bad rest of your life. And I'm not going to stop till we stop it all.
Right. I just want to say that staff has just confirmed to me that they're going to put something out for Boynton residents so that we will have this. I'm just saying.
I appreciate that.
Fraud alert. Thank you.
I will.
We don't want to burn up your phone.
Walter Boykes is right over there. Wave your hand. He's one of my chiefs in the clerk's office. If we could make sure they get the flyers, and you could post the flyers that show. One of them shows the step-by-step of how to sign up, and the other one talks about the issue. And if you could post that, that would be great. That's my mission.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Have a great evening.
Thank you.
We are now going to be moving on to do a proclamation. for Child Abuse and Neglect Awareness Month, and representatives from Pathway to Prosperities and Bridges in Boynton Beach will accept the proclamation. So I am going to read the proclamation, and then I'm going to ask you to come down to accept it. Whereas too many children in our county are endangered by abuse and neglect, a serious threat to their well-being now and throughout adulthood. Toxic stress that stems from abuse can damage young children's developing brains, creating risk factors for learning, developmental delays, and behavioral problems, as well as later violence and criminal activity, thus hindering their future achievements, which has huge implications for our whole community. And whereas most of the victims are under age 5, and even more disturbing, more than 70% of children who die from abuse are under age 4, and tragically, nearly 30% of abused or neglected children will later abuse their own children, continuing this horrible cycle. And whereas 1/3 to 2/3 of child maltreatment cases involve substance abuse to some degree, children who experience child abuse and neglect are about 9 times more likely to become involved in criminal activity. And whereas about 80% of 21-year-olds who were abused as children met criteria for at least one psychological disorder, and abused children are 25% more likely to experience teen pregnancy. And whereas Pathways to Prosperity and Bridges at Boynton Beach provides service to ensure children grow up healthy, safe, and strong. Our 4 primary goals are: babies are born healthy, children are safe from abuse and neglect, children are ready for kindergarten, children have access to quality after-school and summer programs. Now, therefore, I, Rebecca Shelton, Mayor of City of Boynton Beach, Florida, do hereby proclaim the month of April of 2026 as Child Abuse and Neglect Awareness Month. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, to be affixed at Boynton Beach, Florida, on the 7th day of April, 2026. And if you could please come down.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Gerard McKinley, Outreach, I'm sorry.
You want to do, why don't we get the picture and I'll present it, and then you can
Sure,
speak?
okay.
Come on in. Come on.
Okay, let me try that again. Good evening. My name is Gerard McKinley, Outreach Coordinator for Bridges at Boynton Beach and Circles Palm Beach County, which operates under the umbrella of Pathways to Prosperity. Mayor Shelton, Vice Mayor Turkin, Commissioners, City Manager Dugard, distinguished guests, and members of our community. It is truly an honor to stand before you today on behalf of Pathways to Prosperity to accept this proclamation recognizing April as Child Abuse and Neglect Awareness Month in the beautiful city of Boynton Beach. I want to begin by expressing our dearest gratitude to the city for shining a light on an issue that is often hidden, yet profoundly impacts the health and future of our community. This proclamation is more than words. It's a commitment to protect our children, to support families, and to build a safer, stronger Boynton Beach. At Pathways to Prosperity, we believe that every child deserves to grow up in a safe, nurturing, and supportive environment. Unfortunately, for too many children, that is not their reality. Child abuse and neglect are not just individual tragedies, they are community challenges that require collective action. Awareness is the first step, but it must lead to action. Each of us has a role to play, whether it's recognizing the signs, supporting local families, advocating for resources, or simply being a caring presence in a child's life. When we come together as a community, we create a network of protection and hope. This month, we encourage everyone to wear blue, to speak up, and to stand united in support of children and families. Let this proclamation serve as a reminder that prevention is possible, that help is available, and that together we can make a difference. On behalf of our CEO, Ms. Kimberly Bush, and our entire Pathways to Prosperity family, I accept this proclamation with gratitude and with a renewed commitment to continue this vital work. We look forward to strengthening our partnerships within the city and continuing to serve the children and families who depend on us. Thank you again to the City of Boynton Beach for your leadership, your compassion, and your dedication to the well-being of our youngest residents. A special thank you goes out to Ms. Angel Buchanan, who tirelessly advocates for Pathways to Prosperity and is always willing to lend a hand when needed. Together, we can ensure that every child has the opportunity to thrive as we continue to make a difference in this community, one family at a time. Thank you.
Thank you. We are now moving on to public audience. As always, it is 3 minutes per person, non-transferable, and not a Q&A session. The same rules apply. The speaker must address the commission as a whole, not any individual on the dais or in the audience. Insults, personal attacks, or disruptions will not be tolerated. You will be asked to leave if you violate these rules. After we concluded those in person, we will move on to the online. If anyone would like to speak, I ask that you already come down to the podium and start lining up against the wall so that we can alternate when one person's finished. Let's start with you.
David Katz, Boynton Beach, lining up against the wall. That doesn't sound too good.
Just keeps it moving.
Okay. At the end of March, the city attorney was kind enough to meet with me. We discussed an ordinance that had been passed in 2018. It was an attachment to the ordinance that covers the city advisory boards. And it's section 215 all the way from A, excuse me while I flip the page, A to H. And we both agreed that there was, most of it was covered by the county and/or it was a violation of several amendments of the Constitution. So I'm coming up here to ask the city attorney to maybe memo the commission and explain what we discussed, and maybe we can get that taken off, that portion taken off the books. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Harry Woodworth, Boynton Beach. I just want to come by and thank you guys. Last commission meeting, you guys pulled something off the consent agenda, the $7.7 million 10-year deal. You had a robust discussion later, public discussion. I wanted to thank you very much for doing that. I know it wasn't necessary. I kind of wanted to clarify. Well, the other thing is, I don't see it on the future business thing on tonight's agenda. I just wonder where that went. Is it coming up again? When? So there's some dates certain, because I suspect there's some public that wants to know about that and probably find out a little more about it. And there's maybe a confirm that there's no flock work ongoing until that's approved. That would just be good to know. As I said the last time, I'm not against that stuff, okay? I'm a techie at heart. I did a center for the Hong Kong police in 1990 that had all this stuff in it, so I'm not against this stuff. The problem I have with this particular thing is that there's not a lot of controls that were brought forth. The discussion brought up a lot of issues. The technology is great. That's not the issue. All I'm looking for is maybe a little more analysis when we purchase things for $8 and $10 million and that they're going to last for decades at a time, that we look at some of the fact-based data, peer-reviewed studies. All that stuff's out there. What's not out there is buying $10 million worth of stuff on anecdotal things. Carefully chosen stories are not what you buy millions of dollars of equipment on. You've got peer-reviewed reviews, you get consultants, you look at what this stuff does. We've had it for years. Has it changed to crime? Are we solving things faster? I'm all for stuff that improves safety. I'm all for stuff that improves the public's perception of the police. That is not the issue. The issue is what we are buying here. Does it do anything for us? And where's the data that shows that? Please, not another story. Let's just talk about the facts. It's cost versus benefit. We're spending real money here. Things like, okay, what are the controls on this? Who can use it? Is there a accredited list of people? You guys discussed some of this stuff the last time. I buy something on Amazon, there's two-party authentication. Is there two-party authentication for logging into this system? I mean, okay. How do you know that the controls that are in place or were talked about, okay, we don't sell the data. I heard that 100 times. We don't sell it, we share it. We share it with almost everybody. 75% of the flock systems in the country are open source, shared nationally. Okay, what are we gonna do with our sharing? Are we gonna say who? Who can access it? Who gets the data? Blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, that's all I'm looking for is what is all this stuff? And guess what? Flock offers public-facing dashboards. Flock offers network reviews on who's access. All that stuff is available. These guys have been hammered for years now. The Senate's on them. There's all kinds of stuff. They offer this stuff. Are we talking to them about it? What are we going to do going forward to bring this stuff in here besides buying stuff on some great anecdotal story? Let's just do it right. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Susan Oyer, Boynton Beach. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. So I'm coming to speak on 4 things. First of all, please do not build up Pence Park. It violates the deed. Please note that the family that donated it and has the deed restriction still lives in West Palm. I would hate to see us build on this, violate the restrictions, and then turn around and have to hand our park over to someone else because of these deed restrictions. So as this moves forward, let's please stop it. Let's give the residents what they want. And I know Hollis Tidwell sent you guys an amazing presentation and project ideas, all that which fit the scope and fall in within the deed. So please look at Hollis's project. If anybody's interested, reach out to me. I can forward it to you as well. I'm going to reiterate Harry, no to the flock camera system while it's sitting at the 4th DCA. This is an incredibly expensive project. We don't have that kind of money to throw away. And where's the data going? And as Harry said, what kind of proof do we have that this works and does what it's supposed to do? And I'm all for, police security. The police know I am one of their biggest defenders. Please come spend more time in my neighborhood. But, let's actually buy stuff that works and does what it's supposed to do and is not sharing our personal data across, so that you end up with more of Mike Caruso's phone calls going to him saying that my house is being stolen. There's been notice that we're going to start selling water to Gulfstream. They will be paying us less than they are paying Delray Beach to get water, and those residents are excited about this. And we have no water. How many times do I have to say this? There is no water. And actually, I'm wrong because someone in the city found proof that they have found water, but it's 360 miles below us in the center of the earth. So unless we have invented a drill that can take us down 360 miles to get that water, it's apparently 3 oceans worth of water. Yeah, I know. It's really interesting. I can't see that we need to be selling water that we already don't have. Yeah, I'll be happy to forward the information out there if anybody's interested. And also, why I'm back once again asking why there are trees in the cemetery. There's a tree across from Willie's. It is putting out fruit. The fruit is this big on it already. There's at least 3 to 4 pieces of fruit. I am constantly coming in saying, hey, I would love to see our cemetery full of trees, but everyone needs to be able to have trees in there, not just the one family that has the 15-foot tree right now with pieces of fruit this big on it. So either we all get to plant trees or no one gets to plant trees. Let's be consistent and get this taken care of. And it's directly across from Willie's. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hello, all. My name is Charles Hunt, a military retiree. At 1330 Northwest First Court, Rolling Green. During the last few meetings, I presented constitutional and civil rights, which covered all senior citizens or all citizen homeowners in the U.S., which states that the government have set rules for homeowners. Therefore, cities and states are not allowed to penetrate those rules. They're not allowed to make any different rules. However, Boynton Beach city manager and his cabinet have made their own rules. And we are being hurt behind these rules. All the senior citizens and all. Homeowners in Boynton However, Boynton Beach City Manager said that they are going to apply these rules 6 months later. I understand. I think, just me, the city manager is too young to understand what the senior citizens are going through already, instead of adding more pressure. And then he go and hire a young cabinet who also are mutual to his beliefs. When we, the senior citizens, are being terrorized, we don't know which way to go now. I, myself, understand that I can't be the person who sit around and squat about what's going on. I have to speak up. Please, someone. We can't hire the senior city manager, but we can put our city commissioners in the seat. I just pray they do what's right.
Thank you, sir. Next, please.
Good evening, members of the panel, Mayor, Vice Mayor. My name is Kwame Pettis. I'm a retired Command Sergeant Major with 30 years of honorable service in the United States Army. I'm here today on behalf of a colleague who dedicated 28 years of emergency communications, ultimately serving as the director responsible for both operations and developing the next generation of professionals in a field where lives are on the line. Over my career, I've spent decades evaluating performance, developing people, and making decisions that impact the organizations at scale. As a proponent sergeant major within the Transportation Corps, I was directly involved with evaluating structure, force design, and organizational effectiveness, where decisions to retain or eliminate positions were based clearly on demonstrated value and mission impact. In those roles, decisions weren't based on emotions. They were based on demonstrated value and measurable impact. And one principle that was ingrained in us: we did not create single points of failure. Because when you remove experience and proven capability without a deliberate transition, you don't just lose a person, you introduce risk. And over time, that risk will reveal itself. That principle matters even more in emergency communications. This is not a plug-and-play environment. When someone answers that call, there is no margin for error. People depend on someone who already knows the job, who can think clearly and act decisively under pressure. That level of capability is built over time, and it matters. And in her role as director, her impact extended beyond daily operations. She was directly responsible for developing and evaluating the next generation of communicators. Her leadership also supported major public safety efforts to include events coordinated with police and fire departments, as well as contributing to the development of a new 911 center. So when you remove someone like that, you're not affecting the present, you're affecting the future and the readiness of the organization. So when I look at someone with 28 years of service, I don't see uncertainty. I see a proven leader forged through years of experience. 28 years of service is not an accident. It's consistency, it's discipline, it's commitment over time. This isn't just about one individual. It's about what we choose to value. Because those structural or eliminating decisions don't just affect today, they shape what the organization becomes tomorrow. Thank you for your time. May God bless this country and bless our troops. Ebon.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, please.
City Falco Di Corrado, Boynton Beach. I appreciate what Mike Caruso had to share, but it's really sad that we have to report and put our name down so somebody can't steal our property, when what we need is a system that makes it nearly impossible to steal our property. I'm also here tonight because What we are seeing is not simple code enforcement, it is government overreach into the private lives and private property of citizens who are not living in an HOA. A resident in the city who simply is moving, she lost her mate, she sold her house, she put a pod in her property, and she has that temporary storage pod on her own property. Instead of support, she received a violation notice, and it was sent to the wrong person. It was sent to her neighbor, which raises serious concerns about accuracy and due process. But beyond that, we need to ask a bigger question. When did the government gain the authority to control lawful temporary use of private property in a way that interferes with everyday life? People are moving, caring for family, and handling normal life situations, and instead of being helped, they are being cited. This is not about safety. This is not about harm. This is about control. The Constitution protects property rights and the quiet enjoyment of one's home. Yet, we are seeing enforcement that feels excessive and disconnected from real community needs. If there is no nuisance, no danger, no harm, then this becomes an unreasonable intrusion. I am asking this commission to reconsider these policies, ensure proper notices, procedures, and stop penalizing residents for normal, temporary, and harmless use of their own property. Because the city should serve its people, not burden them. Private property is a constitutional right, not something to be controlled without cause, and I thank you for that. But I also want to make another mention tonight. I was walking here from my home to come to this commissioners meeting, and I have pictures of it. 3 of those horses are down on the ground with poles sticking out of them. If I didn't walk during the light, I probably would have ran into it tonight. They're blocking the walkway. They're dangerous, they're hazardous, but who is enforcing that? Who's not on top of what the city employees are doing that are causing a hazard, harm, and could really hurt somebody? Because my husband was just riding a bike and they didn't put a yellow marker there and he didn't know that it was a side. He broke 2 ribs and he also had to have a tube for his lung collapsed. And I walked here tonight and I saw 3, actually starting from Ocean to here out the front, where they had knocked over horses with these poles sticking out of them with tape around that you couldn't even walk on the sidewalk. So if you want to fine anybody, why doesn't the city find themselves and do their due diligence? How it was left there, I have no idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Torrio 106. I was out this Easter weekend to the park in Boynton, and I was informed that the emergency call switch box is not working and haven't been working. I tagged the city of Boynton in it, and I want to know. I want to know why the Carolyn Sims Center, it's cost $30 million. I remember when y'all paid for it or whatever. It's never open on Saturday to the community. Why is that? And as well as Ezel Hester. It's only open when they're playing football, and it's not open, not the inside open. Why don't these kids have anything to do? Why they in the street all day? That's why. The center's not open. The centers are there, one on Cherry Hill and one on 17th. That could reach them pretty good. But they closed on Saturday. In school, they should have something to do. It been closed. We need to get some young, fresh faces in these centers who have the drive, that want to be a part of these kids' life. Because I'm not seeing it. If they're not playing football or basketball, the recreation centers and activity centers are closed. Why is that? I know we're not short of staff, because every time you go on boyntonbeach.com, you don't never see them looking for no gym or recreation guys. You're only looking for sanitation workers. So I just want to leave that on the table with y'all. Y'all have a nice night.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commission. 28 years when I hear that. My name is Monique Lewis. I am the Division Director of Public Safety Communications for 911. I'm coming up here because this is my last time under the organization speaking to you all. I've always asked the question, when I get ready to retire, who's going to do my final tone out? because I've always done everybody's final tone out. These past 2 weeks, I've had a chance to sit and think about and pray about and just meditate on what this city really means to me. I was born and raised in the city, mentored by Carolyn Sims, raised by the community. There's not one community event that I wasn't at, that I've seen all of your faces at. I'm always grinding, always at the community events. It doesn't just stop inside the 911 center. And I think people have told you before, I have missed so many family gatherings because I have dedicated myself to this city every single day. Not once did I do 40 hours a week. It's always been 50 to 80. So when you tell me that someone who's been here 28 years, dedicated, committed to all of you sitting on this panel, please tell me, how is it someone, a division director with no performance issues, her position gets eliminated? Please tell me, how is it that 4 months prior, that a public safety director position gets initiated and then my position gets eliminated? Help me understand that. If we're in a 4.9 budget deficit, why are we creating positions? November of 2025, public safety director position was done by city manager, and then mine got eliminated. Please help me understand that. 28 years, and the only thing that I have been told is restructuring of the department is why you were eliminated. When I can see on March 3rd, Vice Mayor says, police department is top heavy, let's go back. Anyone who is sworn that's handling a civilian role, let's get the boots back on the ground so we can alleviate crime. Help me understand that.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Hawkins. I'm a resident, born and raised right here in Boynton Beach, Florida. First of all, thank you, Monique, for your 28 years. I have something that I'm back again. I've been up here ever since the other mayor was here twice. I live off of Minor Road next to Rolling Green. I've been complaining about my street have no lights. Recently in the area, there have been a lot of prostituting, selling of drugs in that area. There's no light. We used to go out and we walk. I live on Minor Road in 5th Court. I've talked to Mr. Andrew about it. I've been bounced from the city of Boynton to the city of West Palm. West Palm says it's Boynton Beach. Boynton Beach says that it's West Palm. I called FP&L, and FP&L said it belongs to the city. I called back to the city said it belongs to West Palm. In other words, I still don't have a light. And it's been years. I still don't have one, so I don't walk in my neighborhood at night, even when I come. When it was dark, when I would leave a city meeting, it's pitch. So when you come in my neighborhood, whatever's out there is out there. And it's dark. I complained there was no lights in front of Rolling Green or any of that. They put lights in front of Rolling Green, all the way down, because we had no lights, but at that corner of Fifth Court where they changed the polling to that, I still don't have it. And my telephone number is 561-284-6082. Please give me a call in concern of this light, at least by 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, good evening. Again, this is Carol Porter of Stonehaven. I wish Mr. Caruso hung out a little bit longer. He also mentioned something, I think I caught him mentioning the G word, guardianship, which is a huge concern. Every other day, I go online and go to the internet, and I see seniors. Seniors are, troubled by people who are trying to scam them, and sometimes they try to put them into a guardianship, okay? There's a gentleman on the internet, his name is Rick Black. His father-in-law was actually put into one of these, and the family could not get him back, into the family so they could look after him. The other concern is about the property taxes. I am really concerned about the property tax issue. I don't want the property taxes to go away because we fund our law enforcement and fire rescue and other services with those monies. So hopefully the legislator can address this issue and not take the property taxes away. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Next, please.
My name is Renee Randall. I'm up to, excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, speak about Monique Lewis as well. She's my niece, and I'm one of those aunties that give gatherings all the time because I love to cook. So I'm one of those gatherings that she has missed many, 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 many times. And I was just sitting down just thinking that she just have dedicated her entire life, her young life, her entire young life to the city of Boynton. And if there's something that should be done for anyone, she's the one. We don't have pictures with her and her son because they couldn't make the gatherings because when you call her, she say, Auntie, I'm at work. Auntie, I'm at work. Auntie, I'm at work. So if y'all can do anything for anyone, put your heads together, please. Please. And assist Monique Lewis. She has dedicated her young life to this city. Please. I have even given my life to the city of Boynton. I worked with Carolyn Sims. I worked with Tommy Williams, Mr. Dilson, Clyde Harris. I can name on and on and on. We dedicate ourselves to our jobs because that's what we were taught to do. Growing up, we had those kind of parents. You give yourself to your job, so when it's time for you to retire, then you're set. Not somebody eliminating your area and you're not even prepared for it at her young age. So, once again, I say, if anyone deserving of anything, it's Monique Lewis. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no one else in the room for public comment, we're going to move on to online. Is there anyone online, Commissioner Kelly?
No, Mayor, there is no one on.
Public comment is now officially closed.
Just one direction. There was a comment about a memo, and I will gladly do that memo, but I need direction from the commission to prepare the memo.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Memo in regards to what I didn't hear.
That's what Mr.
There was
Katz
an
said.
ordinance that Mr. Katz had come up here.
Okay,
and
I
brought
just
up.
wanted to make sure.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Everybody good? Okay. We are moving on to the administrative portion of the agenda. The first item is appointing a city representative and alternate to the Coalition of Boynton West Residents Association. Are there any volunteers? Who's going to Cobra?
Mayor, I'm the newest person up here. I'm just saying, you all have your positions that you all, and where you all have been going. So if these are the ones that Commissioner Hay had, I would take these.
Okay. But we
Yeah,
already
I
had
think
someone for
we
Cobra.
alternate them every year, as you know, Commissioner. So what, we had discussed this on the agenda review, but I wanted to wait till you were here
Okay.
to see if you wanted this or not. I don't mind doing it. I've done it before, I think the first year I was elected. So I just wanted to make sure that you were here if you wanted to volunteer for this position, this specific one, all of them, really.
Well, I'm saying, what do you want, Cobra, or tell me which ones you want?
I think,
Knock yourself out.
let's see here, I think.
We're doing Cobra first.
Yeah, I can do Cobra. If you want to be the alternate,
That would be good.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay. Do we have a motion to appoint Vice Mayor Turkin and as the representative and Commissioner McCray as the alternate?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The second item is the appointment of a city representative and an alternate for Palm Beach Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Thank you, Mayor. I have been serving on the MPO for the last year, and I have enjoyed my time and have committed to going to the meetings on a regular basis and attending some of the tours, and I would like to stay on it if it pleases the board.
This is one that I
Yeah,
did.
I'm okay with, I'm okay.
Alternate.
Yeah, I'm okay with alternate if everyone else is.
Yes, I'm
Motion
fine
to
with that.
approve.
Can I make a quick comment
Please.
about that? Because I can't talk to you guys about anything other than at the meeting. But I did reach out to Valerie from the MPO with regard to the lighting on Federal Highway. And the reason why, it's because the TPA has done a study of their own for the entirety of Federal Highway. And so what I had discussed was to see if there was a possibility for us to maybe save costs by looking at what they've potentially done and just updating that with ours. So I don't know what the correct way is to share that, maybe to staff or.
Yeah, so I had a meeting, I had a Zoom meeting with city staff with regard to the Federal Highway the streetscape recently. And that was one of the things that I brought up to her, is to make sure that we're looking into other grant opportunities so that we're not footing the bill on something, especially when it's an FDOT road. There's grant funds and working with, FP&L and the MPO. So thank you for mentioning that. That is something that I mentioned to them when I had that meeting, so.
Perfect, thank you. I'll just share that over to Andrew or city manager and just have them take the ball.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so we have a motion and we have a second to appoint Commissioner Kelly as the representative and Vice Mayor Turkin as the alternate. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The third item is the appointment of city representative and an alternate to the Palm Beach County League of Cities. Are there any volunteers?
I think, I know Amy's going to be sworn in as one of the board of directors for the league, so I think it makes sense, since she's going to be at those meetings anyways, an hour before, for her to be designated as the city commission representative.
And Commissioner
Does
McCray,
it-
would you be an alternate?
You want to be alternate? Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
We have, do we have a motion?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second to approve Commissioner Kelly as representative and Commissioner McCray as the alternate. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The fourth item is the appointment of a city representative and an alternate for the countywide intergovernmental coordination program. Was I
That is the
taking
one
it,
that
or
you-
was I an alternate, or am I on it permanently?
You wanted to take the regular
Okay.
position, is what
All
you had
right.
said.
So I will take this, and I don't know who wants to be the
Want to
alternate.
be an alternate?
Sure.
All right, I'll make a motion to nominate the mayor as the primary member and Commissioner Cruz as the alternate for the countywide intergovernmental coordination program.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Let me write down that I'm on this one. Okay. We will move on to the advisory boards. Let me pull that up. This nomination is for me to appoint a regular member to the Art Advisory Board. Let me go in here. Let's see. All right. I'm opening up the doc. Oh, I guess you have it right here. Anthony DiNardo is the only applicant that we have, so I would like to make the motion to appoint Anthony DiNardo
Second.
as a regular member. We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have two applicants for the Library Advisory Board. The nomination is for Vice Mayor Turkin to appoint a regular member to the Library Advisory Board. Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I will nominate Stephanie Poliani.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second to nominate Stephanie Coliani to the advisor, to which she moving on to. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously for the library board. Next, we have two applicants for the Library Advisory Board. The nomination is again for Commissioner Kelly to appoint a regular member to the Library Advisory Board.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to appoint Lisa Nicole Miller to that regular position on the library board.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion to appoint Lisa Nicole Miller, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have three applicants for the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board. The nomination is for Commissioner McCray to appoint a regular member to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board. Would you like to make a motion?
Sure, Dr. Phyllis Pasilla.
Second.
We have a motion for Dr. Phyllis Pasilli, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The next nomination is for Vice Mayor Turkin to appoint a regular member to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Board.
I will move to nominate Jasper Pastorius.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second to nominate Jasper Pastorius. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. The next nomination is for Commissioner Kelly to appoint an alternate member to the Recreation, Parks, and Advisory Board.
No, oh, it's a regular position, okay. I would nominate Allison Pandev Pandev to the regular member position.
Second.
We have a motion to nominate Allison Pandev as the alternate, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. There are no applicants for the following boards, but we encourage residents to apply with the clerk if interested. The Building Board of Adjustment and Appeals, the Education and Youth Board, the Historic Resources Preservation Board, and the Senior Advisory Board. We will now be moving on to.
Mayor, excuse me. You know, before we move on, it was brought up that I do not attend your pre-agenda meetings. I'm going to tell you all why I don't attend pre-agenda meetings.
Okay, let's keep this moving and let's discuss it at the end.
Yeah.
Let's
At
keep
the
the
end.
agenda moving and we'll
Yeah.
discuss that at the end. We will now be moving on to the consent. If my colleagues would like to pull any items, you wanted to pull 7C, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I said
We will now be moving on
7C.
to consent. If my colleagues would like to pull any items from the consent, let me begin to my right with Commissioner Cruz.
No, thank you.
Vice Mayor Turkin,
No, thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Kelly,
No, thank
and
you.
Commissioner McCray.
Nope, just 7C.
Okay.
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We will now be moving on to consent bids and purchases over 100,000. And Commissioner McCray, you did want to pull C.
B, correct.
Does anybody else want to pull anything, or we can move on to C?
Motion to approve the remainder of consent.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the remainder of the consent, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes, and we can move on to
7C.
C since you pulled it.
Thank you. I pulled this because I need staff to explain it, not to me really, but explain it to the citizens who's sitting out here, because some citizens have already approached me because they have concerns when they say that the city manager approved for $74,210, and then it kept going up and up until we got down to this contract amount of $413,190. I understand, but they have questions and concerns, and when they have questions and concerns and they come to me and ask the questions, I'm going to get answers so that they could hear them, so that's why I pull it.
No problem. So the question is, why from 74 to the 413? Okay, so the original was just for what's called Keno Smart Audit, and that is basically for ongoing compliance, really security. It helps protect against fraud, and it makes sure that the system is audit-ready for the state, et cetera. Now, the other piece of it, which is actually the more critical one, is called Smart Test. Now, what Smart Test does is it essentially sits on top of the software and makes sure that the updates that happen doesn't create any critical failures. The number one thing that it really protects is any payroll errors. So over the life of the contract, it's roughly, $6,300 a month to ensure that $9 million of payroll comes out accurately. We have some very complicated pay and payroll things that are happening with all our, with unions and things like that. So with that, it's one of these things that was kind of overlooked when we first did the original, which should have been added. And so that's the piece that's being added going forward over the next 3 years. Then there's $40,000 for contingency, which I do not believe that we're going to use that money. So all in all, it's 370, with the 373 plus the 40 gets you to the 413.
I appreciate your answers. I'm just saying I'm in favor of it, but I just want to make sure that the citizens who asked me the question, that they understand now. Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve resolution number R26-058, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 4. We have 2 public hearing items. Public comment will be permitted on each item. I'm going to turn to the clerk to read in item 8A.
Proposed ordinance number 26005, second reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 08007 by amending policy 4.5.3 of the Comprehensive Plans Conservation element of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, to implement payment in lieu of option of conservation lands, providing a business impact statement, providing for severability, conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
This is a second reading for this item. Staff, are there any updates or changes since the first reading?
Mayor Gabe Savigny, Principal Planner. Only one update. It has a comprehensive plan text amendment. It does require state review. That has been completed with no objection.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the commission before we move on to public comment? Oh, there is a second reading, so.
Susan Oyer, Boynton Beach. As always, I'm against something like this. We don't have nearly enough conservation land. The last thing we need to do is give developers another way to take our land in any way, shape, or form. You can see, I don't know how much you guys are paying attention, but the residents of the state of Florida have been standing up and fighting for preservation and to maintain what little land we have left throughout the state. They are winning repeatedly across the state. They have become very vocal. There's massive Facebook groups on stopping development with tens of thousands of people on them. There's not a reason in the world we should be making it easier for developers to get out of maintaining green space when we have so little. We have less than the other cities, significantly less green space than the rest of the cities. So, the fact that you want somebody in planning to be able to sign off on giving another way to take away our green space and to take away our conservation lands and to give developers another chance to do something that the residents would be up in arms over, please say no to this. Thank you.
Any other public comment? If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 26-005 on second reading?
Mayor, can I ask staff to just, for the, if you don't mind, just very briefly explaining what exactly this amendment does and how it does affect our, and why we're making this change, just for the public who maybe wasn't here the first time. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Kelly. Again, Gabe Savigny, Principal Planner. So currently in the environmental protection areas, that there is a requirement to maintain a certain amount of what is on that site. So if it's the 25%, that's the way the comp plan reads right now. So there's not any option to be able to move forward for that development. This only allows for a process to be able to come forward for fees in lieu of. There would still be a follow-up with the LDRs that would change, that would actually show the process, what the fees would look like. It does not change the overall city's requirement for the maintaining the minimum of 75% of all environmentally A areas. Currently, we're about 320 acres, and then so the maintaining of that would still be around the 285, if my math's correct, if I remember. But that's the minimum that we would have to save regardless. So any site within the city, if that number ever dropped below that, we could never develop any of those sites, so it would not change any of those.
I would just also note, Amanda Radigan, Development Director, that this doesn't actually change the overall acreage that is required to be preserved, as it's working in unison with other policies within the comprehensive plan. This does allow for a funding source to be created. This is just the policy. It's not the actual program. So the fees have not been solidified yet. That would have to come forward as an LDR amendment. But this does create a funding source for sustaining and maintaining other conservation areas that are required to be maintained. But it doesn't change the overall developable cap or conservation cap for the city.
Thank you. Tammy, turn to you for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Turkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
No.
Commissioner McCray,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
and a roll call vote. The vote passes 4-1.
Thank you. I will now turn to the clerk to read in item 8B.
Proposed ordinance number 26-010, second reading, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 1, Article 2, Definitions, Chapter 1, Article 7, Section 2, Director of Planning and Zoning, Chapter 1, Article 9, Section 6, Posting of Notice, Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2, Types of Land Development Applications, Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 3, Review Process for Applications Requiring Public Hearings Generally, Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 2, Standard Applications, Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 4, Relief Applications, Chapter 2, Article 2, Section 7, Other Applications, Chapter 2, Article 3, Section 4, Right-of-Way Permit, Chapter 3, Article 1, Section 2, Scope, Chapter 4, Article 4, Section 5, Community Design, Chapter 4, Article 5, Section 2, Standards, and Chapter 4, Article 4, Section 4, Standards of the Land Development Regulation, remove outdated advisory board references, modify off-street parking standards, update certain feather banner procedure requirements, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. Since this is the second reading, staff, are there any updates or changes since the first?
Mayor Gabe Savigny, Principal Planner, there are no updates. Just as a reminder, while that's a very long one, it's only a change to 3 general processes in the LDRs.
Okay. Are there any comments or questions from the commission?
No, Mayor.
If there's nothing else, I will turn to, public comment. Does anybody have public comment on this item? Okay,
And there's no one online, Mayor.
thank you. Let's turn to the clerk for the roll call vote.
Vice Mayor Turkin,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner McCray,
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly,
Yes.
Mayor Shelton,
Yes.
and a roll call vote. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much. I will now turn to the city manager for his legislative update, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Members of the board, I know we heard from Senator Berman earlier, and we also heard from Representative Long. They provided broad generalities as far as like the amount of vast bills that were passed in town. And before I go into the actual discussion, I want everyone to understand the governor has not signed off on any of these bills yet, so that's important to understand. I look forward to the day when the state of Florida actually is going to empower municipalities, and I have good news to bring you guys, but this year isn't one of those. So I'm going to go over with some of the differing issues that we have to prepare for. Some of you guys have heard about House Bill 1329, and this is about local government finances. And essentially what it does is it provides more transparency in government, and it's, I want to say, a quarterly posting of different compensation packages that are provided in municipalities and at the county level as well. The one thing that's going to be required at our annual budgetary process during the workshops, we have to do a 10% budget reduction exercise. And put that into perspective for everyone, I want to say our total budget for the entirety of the city was right around $340 million. So a 10% reduction of that would be a total of $34 million. So, and that's going to be across all of our enterprise funds, and it's also going to be across our general fund. Our general fund houses both police, fire, public works, parks and recreation, the library, and the Arts and Cultural Center, code enforcement, IT, inter-service departments. So I can tell you that we're looking at closing in as far as both police and fire. Those entities are closing in at probably about $100 million cumulatively on an annualized basis. And when you look at the general fund as a whole, it's about 136 million. So you don't have a lot of money to play around with as far as like the rest of the city. Just police and fire account for right about 98 million, and the rest of the city is about 38 million that you fund all the rest of your services from, not including the enterprise funds. Well, and I can tell you, most municipalities are facing the exact same thing. I don't want to go into too much detail why that is. This, again, is just the specificity for the bills and the legislative actions that the state passed that are going to affect us the most from a revenue standpoint. I know both of them, they spoke also about the property tax bill. I spoke with our lobbyists. I've spoken with also the League of Cities. Everyone's looking at session to resume after April 13th. They're going to be looking at some sort of carve out for a homestead exemption, super exemption. Anything that the state passes is going to impact us from a revenue base. So you're also going to look at losing some ad valorem revenues from that standpoint. Our ad valorem revenues were right around 80 million total last year. We gave, I want to say 16.7 to the CRA, which represents probably about 22% of our budget. And so we're going to have to definitely look at what the impacts of those are going to be, whatever comes out of that property tax legislation. The other thing that I want to hit on before I turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Adam Temple, for a building department update or building fund update, is the fact that there's a utility bill, and there's two utility bills. It's House Bill 1451, and it's also Senate Bill 1014. And essentially what that does is whenever we go and we provide water service agreements cities typically use as a voluntary annexation tool, meaning that if you agree to take our product and you're going to have the city provide a service to you, you agree that in the future, if the city decides to annex that particular parcel or that particular development, it's done so through a power of attorney process or whatever the legality of these contracts are done by. I can tell you we have a vast amount of water service agreements currently. You've heard that, especially in the last year or so with the talks of annexation. Going forward, this stops that. So our contracts are still valid, but if there's new development and it's in unincorporated Boynton Beach or somewhere where we have the capability based on our capacity to provide water services to that development, we essentially are going to be a common provider. So we are going to be forced to provide that with absent zero annexation agreements in effect. The other aspect of these bills is the fact that out of jurisdiction residents, out of city limit residents, right now we do a surcharge of 25%, and 25% helps keep our residents' rates lower. So our residents who are paying city taxes and they receive all city services, their water rates are kept lower based on that surcharge. It's becoming difficult because now we're going to have to go and we're going to have to hold workshops in those out of city limit areas, and we're going to have to justify the 25% surcharge that we are charging those residents. And if you're not going to be able to justify that surcharge, then you're going to have to lower those rates and increase rates on your current residents. So, like I said before, I wish I had great news from the state of Florida, but there are some challenges, especially from a financial standpoint. I can tell you that my entire staff, we've been working diligently. I've had great discussions with Commissioner McCray, Commissioner Turkin. Most of you guys have heard some of the things that we're trying to plan ahead and have the necessary foresight to ensure that you guys remain fiduciaries of the city and that we're going to be able to move forward still providing those services, even then in the event that we do have to, in the event there is some loss of revenue on a revolving basis. So at this point in time, I'll take any questions, and if I can't answer those questions, I will turn it over to the city attorney, Shauna Lamb, and hopefully she can help me out, so.
Just one quick question, and thank you. If there was a pocket of land that needed to be annexed, and it was like, no, if there was a pocket of land that we needed to provide water for, wouldn't then the county technically provide that service instead of us, or would?
If the county does have a very vast utility, I don't know how many exact utilities they have, but there are areas where they do provide services. But in order to recreate what we currently have with our subterranean infrastructure and our water distribution rights and our sewer collection services, we have 2.5 plants, half in Delray on the border of Delray and Boynton, one plant out west, and we have a plant out east. It would probably take them about $5 billion to recreate what we have. So we have it there, and if we have the capacity, we're going to be forced to provide water to those developments.
Real quick, so to piggyback on that, what this does is it gives developers essentially an option to pick the cheaper water utility, to pick the cheaper route, to pick what's going to cost them the least to provide water service to the development that they're building. So if it's cheaper for them to tap into Boynton because they're building down the street from a pipe, as opposed to running hundreds of yards of pipe to access Palm Beach County water, they're going to choose the path of least resistance, and we don't have a choice. We have to provide service to those residents, and we can't charge, well, can we charge them the surge? We can charge, if we can justify it.
You have to justify it.
Right. Well, right now with the condition and the age of our plants, we can justify the 25% now, but in
If
the
those
future-
residents do not agree, then they can counter-sue us, or they can sue us to make us prove that that surcharge is necessary. So it's quite a bit of a cumbersome process. I don't know what it looks like. It's obviously in its infancy stages. The governor hasn't signed off on this. I've been on the phone with Ballard Partners. I've tormented Matt into the ground, trying to let him know that I don't think, just when we were sitting here, I received an email from 16 other municipalities because they're worried about it. And the one who spurred it was the new city manager, Darvin Williams, at the city of North Miami Beach. So there's every single municipality that has a utility, they're going to have to reevaluate what they're doing with their utility.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mine is really not about the water, but I want to say, first of all, thank you for your report. Second of all, I want to say thank you for speaking about ad valorem taxes. Okay, in District 2, we got VRG, a large community of retirees. I'm just saying a lot of people feel like they're not really carrying their weight. But I'm glad you brought it up so that we could say, you know, hey, we could do anything, you know. I'm just saying we'd like everybody to pay their fair share. Thank you.
Okay, we done?
Yeah, I think the other thing, just to piggyback, is when you look at this potential bill and like the foresight that comes after it is, we really have to think about this, because we will then be in a position where we could be challenged every year for these annual rates. They could maybe get these rates at the same as Boynton residents, but they won't be on the hook for any type of necessary bond to improve our utilities if we were to go down that route, which I think is a complete scam ripoff that this is even like a discussion that we're having. And, you know, we need to be very aggressive and advantageous about making sure that we're not put in that position where, you know, we're being taken advantage of, and you have organizations hiding, neighborhood organizations, whatever the case may be, hiding behind the legislator on this. And so I think we really got to think about this whole thing at a very bird's eye level, because otherwise we're going to be put in a situation where, you know, unincorporated Palm Beach County is, or Boynton Beach, Lantana, wherever, is going to be getting the same price as Boynton residents. But when the upgrade happens, and maybe it's not this commission, you know, maybe it's down the road, that they propose a bond to fix our, you know, our completely outdated utilities, who's not going to be on the hook for it? Those residents that are litigating us, and a lot of these neighborhoods have some firepower. You know, they have a lot of you know, deep pockets with their reserves, you know, for their HOA. So they have the resources to litigate. They have the resources, you know, to be able to challenge this. And so I think it's very important that when we move forward, if this happens, that we think about things drastically for the city to prevent that situation from happening. Because if I'm a resident who's not civically engaged, and, you know, my family out west is paying the same rate as I am, and yet I'm on the hook for this $50 million, $70 million bond, it's just ridiculous.
I can tell you the analogy that I heard, and I can't remember who told it. It's the equivalent of your neighbor coming over to borrow your car and putting gas in it, but the instant your tires blow out or your battery goes dead or you need to do any sort of upgrades, then they're like, oh, well, as soon as you're done with that, let me know so I can use your car again. So I'm not going to steal Adam's thunder. I'll turn it over to you to go over the building fund changes. Also, no good news. Also, no good news. So,
good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Adam Temple, Assistant City Manager. I'm going to go over a couple items as it relates to the building permitting and development as a whole, and yep, including Live Local. So, House Bill 803 related to building permits and inspections. There's a lot in this bill that would intimidate a lot of municipalities, but you know, thanks to the hard work and forward thinking of our staff that works on the first floor, Salika, Mike Griffin, John Kunzman, Mike Bluyat, we're really at the tip of the spear on a lot of these, so there's really minimal, if any, impact on these. But as an example, requires 5-day response times for doing sufficiency reviews for building permits for single-family homes, you know, for work 15,000 or below. For us, it doesn't matter if it's an $80 million project or a $5,000 project. We do those sufficiency reviews typically within minutes, not days. It also implements and requires specific percentages to provide discounts for homeowners that are utilizing private providers. Private providers are licensed professionals, similar to our plans reviewers and inspectors in the building department. They possess the same licenses. They often, they can be available a lot more frequently, and to the resident to get the jobs done faster. Those percentages that they legislated, we actually have the exact same percentages already available for discounts for our residents. So again, no impact for us. It also allows for exemptions for the homeowner for a single-family home to be able to, the requirement to obtain a building permit. As you all know, we already have an exemption for a specified dollar amount. They did exceed our exemption. So any work valued at $7,500 or less for a single-family home that's not in a special flood hazard area would not be required to get a permit as long as it doesn't contain electrical, plumbing, mechanical, and structural components. It also requires us to do some reductions on commercial construction permit fees, and we also have to develop a registration on our website for private providers to be able to register those private providers that do work within the city. We have to maintain a registry for homeowners to be able to contact them should they like to use them. And lastly, the state is going to be adopting a statewide uniform permit application that will be applicable for every municipality in the entire state of Florida. Currently, we have a countywide standardized permit application. This will expand it statewide. Next is a House Bill 399. It's a land use and development regulation bill. I'm only going to address the items that, really apply to us. It basically prohibits using community character, also, similar compatibility or similar subjective concepts for the basis of denial of projects. It also requires us to make some mitigation and specific items within our comprehensive plan and land development regulations that address this. And this does impact us on our land development permit fees. Now we can no longer charge based on project valuation for land development permits. Those are typically based on engineering cost estimates. So they are going to have to reflect our exact costs for those fees. House Bill 1389 is Live Local 4.0. If you remember, Live Local was initially adopted 3 or 4 years ago, which created an administrative avenue for developers to come in if they're building an affordable workforce housing project in a municipality. They can bypass going before public hearings. It requires an administrative approval, and they get the highest density that the city currently allows, and they get the highest height within a 1 mile radius. It was a glitch bill was done the second year to fix a couple little things and required cities to require parking reductions on affordable projects. 3.0 last year's kind of expanded it a little bit into religious properties, houses of worship. This year, the 4.0, it included another preemption that includes city-owned property, county-owned property, school district-owned property, and religious properties over 3 acres that have been actively have a worship use for 10 or plus years. Local governments may not use, and this impacts us as well. Local governments may not use dimensional requirements or design standards, including setbacks and step backs. We currently have a step back requirement for larger buildings. Once you go up 45 feet, building goes in and then it goes back up. We can no longer do that for Live Local projects. So that is Live Local. We have another House Bill 927 is a local land planning and development and permitting timelines. This bill requires local governments to offer pre-app consultation programs, similar to what I mentioned in our building department. This bill, although it does somewhat impact us, we are way ahead of the curve. We already operate under a pre-application process. It allows applicants to use qualified private contractors for some application reviews. Establishes strict review timelines, 45 to 180 days. Those are very, very generous, I can tell you. We typically do the large development reviews within 2 or 3 weeks on the planning side. Creates an automatic approval if certain deadlines are missed, and it limits information requests, imposes fee refunds for delays. It expands administrative approvals and preempts conflicting local procedures. And so in a nutshell, this bill shifts power towards applicants. It reduces our discretion a little bit, and but it does force faster and more predictable permitting for property owners. And that is all the updates I have. Yes, sir.
Quick question on the Live Local. So with it being like municipal owned land or like a special taxing district, does obviously is that like if they assign it to a developer, they are entitled to that zoning that's within a mile?
For the city-owned properties?
Yes.
Yes. So for the city-owned properties, the city would have to be a co-applicant,
right,
in any one of those projects. So somebody couldn't just submit a site development application, say I want to develop an affordable housing project on X city-owned property, and then we have to take it. No, we would have to be a co-applicant. It
Right,
would have to be
or they
something
would
the
have
city.
to, or it would be deeded or transferred, okay, which I don't imagine any city doing.
Right, correct.
I mean, it wouldn't be popular, I don't think. Okay, and that.
Religious institutions would be the one that would greatest impact us, so.
Yes.
Currently, what staff is gonna be doing is, what we did in the initial Live Local bill, we are going to, create a map. Well, we're gonna add to our existing map now, religious institutions, houses of worship that are 3 acres or greater, to that map, so that we know, so that we have a better understanding on what the potential implications could look like.
Why 3 acres?
That's the number that the state,
Okay, that's the state,
sir.
okay. So anything less than that,
no, like the small little houses of worship in neighborhoods, no. It'd be the larger parcels. And we have a number of them.
do we need to get these churches to subdivide those?
I'm gonna close with this unless you guys have any more questions. In the future, I want to say the last meeting in May, I'm gonna be bringing a very, very large presentation. It's gonna start the discussion of some of the things that we need to actually start looking at, because there's gonna be some tough decisions ahead, and it's all gonna be finance related. So I want to prepare you guys fully for it.
Thanks, Dan.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to expand on 2 things, but it looked like you had a question first.
I had a question, real quick, sorry, Shauna, before I forget. So Adam, on the registry, when we're now being forced to feature businesses that just say that they do business in the city, but we're not providing, so the concern I have is that now we're being forced to put them on a registry on our website saying, here is a list of businesses in Boynton Beach, do business with them, but there's no vetability, there's no way for us to, we're not vetting them, we're not providing any input to the residents, we're just saying, and so, but it almost looks like we're providing them like, these are the businesses we prefer you to do business with. So I'm concerned with making sure, what can we do? Is there some disclaimer or something that we can put attached to this registry that kind of protects us? It doesn't give this impression that we've vetted them and these are the businesses. This is in accordance with this new, what will end up being a Florida statute possibly, in accordance with this Florida statute, we're not, I guess I'm just, and maybe it's something that you can ask, is there language that we can put that kind of removes us from, giving the perception that we're vetting and endorsing the use of these businesses,
Yes, we've had some internal discussions, and that was one of the items that came up. Yes, it would appear, if it is on our website, it would appear that these entities were endorsing them, for lack of a better term. What we would probably look to do in consultation with legal is, on that registry where it provides a list, we would include the statute and language that is requiring us to do so, and to the extent that we can put disclaimers on there, we will. But since it's very new for everybody, we're gonna have to work through it, and whatever we can put on there, to help not give the appearance that we're endorsing these folks, we will.
Okay, great, thank you.
Shauna?
With the DEI restrictions, that effective date is July 1 of '27. So it buys us a little bit of time, but it extends to contractors, grantees, and affiliated programs. So maybe these small, business loans for certain classes of people, we might have to change that. But the violations can result in removal from office. And it also expands for authorized legal challenges by residents. So we can be sued under this statute for that, but we're gonna have to do a comprehensive review of all our programs, the HR practices, our contracts, and our grants. Just so you're aware. That creates some risk not only to you as a board, but obviously to the city getting sued. So that's one of the things, it's a little bit more deep than just not hosting a parade. It goes further than that. Now, the one she mentioned with the sovereign immunity caps going up, what she didn't mention, what she failed to mention, and this starts 10/1/26, it's $350,000 per person or $500,000 per incident. What she didn't mention is that on October 1 of 2031, it goes up to $600,000 per person and $1.2 million per incident. And so what you're going to see over the next 5 years is an increase in our premiums and those sorts of things. That's going to be, as the money is going away, those numbers are going to get bigger. Our settlements are going to get bigger, all of those things. So I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Have we forecasted for those premiums? Are we forecasting for this? That might be a good idea.
No, well, fortunately, we did all of our premiums and we won't renew again, I believe, until October of this year. One of the things that we're gonna have to discuss, so we are self-insured up to the first 200,000, which is the current cap. Whether we wanna self-insure up to that 500,000 or what we're gonna do. I'm sorry, one more thing I wanna add. Also, they took away the claims bill process, so we can voluntarily pay above the cap. They took it out of the legislature's hands, and they made it the local government's decision if they want to voluntarily pay more.
Oh, interesting.
Commissioner McCray?
Thank you. I'm glad we're gonna have the meeting in May. It was 6 years ago since I set up here. And from then until now, we had slush funds, we had a CIP budget. I'm back and I'm saying, but where's the CIP budget? They said, there is none. It's almost difficult now for the cities to do business within themselves. We have citizens who pretend and come before us and say, we want more services, but we want to pay less. Things are expensive now. Things are going up, so there's going to be some bullets we're going to have to bite, some guns we're going to have to throw away, some feelings we're going to have to throw away, because I'm just saying every penny now has to be counted for. Every penny is a penny now. What we used to could do, just to satisfy a couple people, we can't do it anymore. That's not the way government works. It's for everybody and nobody. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, that was a great.
I'm sorry, there was one more, I apologize. This I found interesting. There was one more thing. It didn't pass, but it's coming back. They wanted to remove the local business tax repeal so that local governments could not collect business taxes.
Got it.
Yeah, that did not pass, but they're anticipating it'll be back next year.
Okay. All right, well, that was a barrel of good news. Let's move on to our regular agenda. The next item is proposed resolution number R26-059. Is there a staff presentation for us?
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, City Manager. This item is addressing flood reduction in heart of Boynton, and we do have a presentation if you want it. So do you want me to go ahead and just do the presentation? All right. So next slide, please. Oh, I have it. So this is the general project area for where this project is going to be. It's a grant funding for hazard mitigation grant program, FEMA grant, and it's basically mainly for stormwater, so it's flood reduction, but we've added some infrastructure, critical infrastructure areas in there for water and sewer. So the grant itself is for $12 million, and $1.3 million is for water, and $1.2 million additionally, the 1.3 and 1.2 are additionally for water and sewer that we are adding to it. What were some of the community impacts and project drivers? It's almost a 288-acre area with over 2,000 residents, over 700 housing units, and over 170 businesses. The drivers are really to improve drainage and reduce flooding, replace some critical utility infrastructure for water and sewer, and improve roadway conditions while we're doing it. And this is sorely needed, as I'll show you. So what it's going to do is the project's going to build to improve public safety and access for emergency vehicles and personnel, protect assets, and make us more resilient for future storm events. And as you've seen last few years, we've seen more and more storm events coming down really hard on us. So we want to be able to be prepared to work on those and then lower the long-term recovery cost after storms passed. Here are just a couple of pictures from how bad the street flooding in this area happens. When we have bad rainfall, sometimes some of this water can stay for a couple of hours to a couple of days, depending on where you are. And so some of the project guidelines are going to be to reduce this flooding. May not completely be able to eliminate it, but we will reduce it. The project components are stormwater system retrofits to improve drainage, so installation of exfiltration trenches, enhanced conveyance, especially along Northwest 3rd Street, and then coordinated water and sewer upgrades. As I already talked about the funding, so there's $14.3 million total for this project with $1.375 for water. That's a utility CIP money being used for that, $1.2 million for sewer system upgrades. That's also utility CIP, and then the $12 million for stormwater improvements as the hazard mitigation FDEM grant. And we are requesting right now for the phase 1 design, which is Keith and Associates. They are the engineering consulting firm that are going to be designing. They're going to be doing some environmental studies, permitting, and other things in the phase 1. And $1.236 million is grant funds, and the total for that, Keith and Associates for this portion is over $2 million. So the request is today for approving resolution R230559, phase 1 design for Keith and Associates for $2.074704 million, and it supports progress towards phase 2 funding, which is going to be for bidding as well as construction management, and then going back to the state for phase 2 funding and going back to the state for construction dollars that we need. And this is going to really help risk reduction from floods. So what we're really trying to do with this project is to protect homes and businesses and infrastructure, improve emergency access and safety, and using federal grant money to do this. So any questions? I'm here. I think I have Keith and Associates is here too, somebody from them. So if there are questions, they can answer some more technical.
There is one correction on this. It said R23, but it's R26.
Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
Okay.
Are there any questions from any of the other commissioners? Of course, sir.
Thank you. I really want to say to you all, thank you for taking the upper shot now before it happens, because you said the heart of Boynton. I went to work one day in Fort Lauderdale, and it wasn't raining. When I came out, the majority of where I work at was underwater. And I was like, wow, and they kept complaining. We should have done something about this. We don't have proper drainage, et cetera. Broward County was in one of the hellest predicaments that they ever been in. Even their city hall flooded. And I was like, well, what the hell happened? So I'm just saying, I'm glad we are taking the step before we need it. I'm just saying this is long overdue.
I agree.
In favor.
If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to approve proposed resolution number R26-059?
So moved.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion
thank you for
passes
being
unanimously.
Thank you.
There's only 4.
Oh, there's
just
only
so
4 of us, yeah.
Yeah, for it.
The next item is proposed resolution number R26-060. Is there a staff presentation? You're on deck again.
Yes, I'm here, and I have our consultant for this part of the project. So this project is really, city received Florida DEP State Revolving Fund money, $5.4 million, to evaluate both plants, look at for meeting PFAS regulations, upcoming regulations. That was what the money was given for, to look at treatment. And we are utilizing the money to look comprehensively at both plants. And so we divided the project into a couple of portions. We'll talk about what the recap of what we have done up to now. Let me just go to the next slide. So we received 5.4 million. Last year in January, the commission approved the first task to go ahead, look at the condition assessment of the plant. Both plants come up with treatment evaluations and criteria for how you would decide what treatment is best for going forward for future, because think about it, we are building these plants for the next 30 years. So we want to make sure that we are looking through all the future regulations that are coming as best as we can predict them. And we want to make sure that we are building resilient plants and efficient plants, so they'll go as it's almost a generational project in my mind. And the first task order has been completed, and GJ Schurz, he is our consultant from Jacobs Engineering, and he's going to talk about what all we've done up to now. And then going forward, we are asking approval for task order 2, which is not to exceed for the remaining part of the grant money that it's a reimbursable grant, the money that we can get. And then that's going to get us to an intermediate design for one of the plants. And then following, we're going to be coming back for more money for designing these plants and then construction of the plants. So Jacobs Engineering has a contract for evaluating all of this, designing treatment options, and then construction management, bidding, helping with bids, and then construction management in the future. So that's what we've contracted GJ for. GJ, you want, if this is easier, you can move this. Yes, now I'm right here.
Yeah, just.
Any questions?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Vice Mayor, and the commissioners. Thank you. So we performed task order 1, as Ms. Poonam just mentioned. Task order 1, treatment options evaluation and facilities plan. We started with the work approximately a year ago, and we did some extensive work. I will talk about it in a minute, and then we'll talk about what work is outstanding. Work performed. So let's jump in it. So task order 1, the effort completed, and the main conclusion. So we have 2 water treatment plants, the East Water Treatment Plant and the West Water Treatment Plant. They have a combined rated capacity of 34 million gallons per day capacity, which, based on the projections for the population and the demand projections, is sufficient to provide water to the city of Boynton Beach residents and until 2055.
Is it sufficient to out-of-city limit residents also?
Yeah, outside of the city limits, yes, correct, thanks. So you're a regional water provider. You provide water to the city of Boynton Beach residents, but also to the towns of Boynton Breeze, Hyperloxo, Ocean Ridge, Gulfstream, and unincorporated Palm Beach County, which is important to know. It's just classified as a large drinking water utility by the Environmental Protection Agency. So any utility providing water to over 100,000 residents is considered a large utility. Second point, alternative water supply source is needed to be developed within the next few years. So currently you use one single source, which is the superficial aquifer, which is an aquifer around 100 to 100 feet below ground surface. It's fresh water, but the allocation from this district basically runs out, and when your demands keep getting larger, at some point you need a supplemental source. Now, the city has looked quite extensively at reclaimed water, which proved to be not cost efficient. So the next alternative water supply source is the brackish Florida aquifer source water, which is deeper, but it's brackish. Number 3, the facilities assessment identified significant investment needs at both plants. So based on that, we prioritized capital improvement needs to address asset condition, process, and hydraulic limitations. 4, and Poonam just mentioned it, as well as earlier speakers, the treatment change are required to meet the new regulations. So the PFAS regulation got put into law a year ago, and everybody needs to still meet by April 2029 the regulations. The superficial aquifer you're currently using contains PFAS, so we need to remove it before we can give it to the customers as of April 2029. And then 5, and that's really part of what we have been doing, is we have been identifying what is the best solution for the city going forward. Let's first talk about the aging infrastructure and the need for investment to continue to meet current and future regulatory requirements. So your East Water Treatment Plant on Woolbright originally was built in the 1960s, so 65-year-old, and we identified a little bit over $50 million needs just to keep that plant operational as is. The West Water Treatment Plant, which is along Boynton Beach Boulevard, further west, is a plant which was built in early 90s. It's 35 years old now, and it needs also above $50 million investment to keep it running. I say that the emphasis to keep it running as it is. So with the same capacity, same process, so no change in source. It used the same sufficient aquifer source. So just the status quo, you need to invest $111 million to keep going what you have. And you can see some pictures with some of the examples of the condition of the plant. Some of your commissioners, I think, have visited the site, so I would recommend you do that. Then we went through a detailed treatment alternative evaluation. We looked at all kind of technical and cost criteria.
Excuse me, I got to stop you. You said we have to invest $11 million, but it's $111 million. Am I correct?
For the status quo.
Okay.
For just having what you have. I'll come back to that in a minute.
All right.
So we looked at 9 alternatives, and within 4 alternatives at the East plant, we had some sub-alternatives as well. But we looked at extensively at all kind of different combinations for the city to be able to meet the needs for the future. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, they have published guidelines for water utilities, how to remove PFAS. Generally, there's 2 ways to do it. One is through physical separation, just to remove it by filtration, for instance. And one is chemical adsorption. You just attach it to a surface and then remove it. Then we also looked at different water allocation, as I mentioned. Currently, you have the superficial aquifer, and to meet the future needs, you need to tap an alternative water supply, which the Florida aquifer is. So we looked at different combinations of both of those for the alternatives. And then we looked both at the technical, we call it technical benefit score, but we looked at what kind of criteria and how they score. What is the better alternative over the long term for the city based on water quality, future proofing, impact to neighbors and stuff like that. And then also we obviously looked at cost. So the benefit cost is sort of a ratio between the benefit and the life cycle cost. This is just an example of the in-depth analytics we went through. These are just the technical criteria. I don't want to belabor them too much, but we looked at process performance. Obviously, that's key. We need to remove PFAS. So that's important. We need to meet it now. And, the EPA just came out with the UCMR 6, which new PFAS on the horizon we need to monitor for. And then there's microplastics, so we need to keep that in mind as well. And then technical considerations like institutional controls. We want to make sure that we control our own destiny, that we can order chemicals we can get. We have multiple vendors available, and then some social considerations and some environmental considerations. So that's all the technical evaluation, and each and every alternative was evaluated based on the technical criteria. In terms of cost now, this is for the 9 alternatives we looked at. This is the capital cost to build what we need to do, and you can see there's not much difference between those alternatives. So those very comparable alternatives in terms of capital cost. You can see the baseline of $111 million, which you need regardless. So the additional is to treat the alternative water supply, which is brackets, as I mentioned, and to treat for PFAS. The differential between the alternatives was mainly in the operating costs. So you can see here an operating cost as the cost of electricity, chemicals, consumables, other consumables, and staffing levels. So you can see here, and these are costs per year. So when we talk about the alternative 9, for instance, $4 million a year, you would spend $4 million a year on treating water. And then you see on the other side, alternatives 1 and 2 have much higher operating costs. So in terms of that, capital costs were very similar, operating costs were significantly different. So if you then did that in a whole life cost calculation, and in this case we use 30 years, in utility planning, where you build concrete and you build structures, you build them for 30 years. You have typically municipal bonds for 30 years, so we like to plan over a 30-year period. So you can see the variation between the different alternatives there. And then, as I talked earlier, in the background, you have the same whole life cost. And these are whole life costs over 30 years, right? So just keep that in mind. It's a capital cost and 30 years of operating cost. And on the blue, you can see the benefit score, or the benefit cost score. So the alternative with the highest benefit cost score is the best value alternative for the city, which in this case was alternative 9. So what does that mean? So the task order 2 is focusing on the wastewater treatment plant. As I mentioned, is along Boynton Beach Boulevard. So currently it's a 10 MGD rated plant. We want to move more capacity to the west plant from the east. The reason we want to do it because the east well field is impacted by saltwater intrusion. We want to move the wells further west. So we're going to have a little bit more capacity on the west side. So we need new production wells. We need a new water transmission system. And then expanding the treatment to be able to maintain the current treatment but improve it based on what the latest are. Concentrate disposal. So when you do membrane treatment, you separate the permeate from the concentrate. I get a little technical now, right? Permeate from the concentrate, but you end up with a concentrated stream which you need to dispose of. So currently, the way to do it in Florida is to send it on the ground to 3,000 feet deep. And that's sort of allowed by the UIC, by the FDEP. So for the rest, it's some chemical areas, electrical system, INC system, site work, and demo and commissioning. So I just had a little, so this is just an idea how it could look like, but so we're going to build out that plant more to the capacity it needs. So this is supposed to be around 24 MG capacity plant. So we're going to focus on the west plant. Whatever treatment we're going to do, we want to make sure it doesn't corrode the pipes in the system, so we have a corrosion control treatment study. And we're going to do preliminary design of the wells, the transmission mains, and the plant itself. We're going to help the city with some permitting. And then there's a whole element of hydrogeology, is really to find the best spots for the wells with the best water quality, the highest production, make sure that we planning the disposal well appropriately at the site. And then we also need to go back to the district, the South Florida Water Management District, which has jurisdiction of the water use. So by 2029, the city current CUP expires, and we need to start planning and apply for that. So that's preparing the city to do that. So as Poonam mentioned, we request to move forward with task order 2, and I think she mentioned already, right? So, so we needed urgency 1, just to wrap it up. The city needs an alternative water source allocation because the current sufficient aquifer is not sufficient going forward, and we need to stop tap the floor in an aquifer. 2, both plants need essential upgrades. As you mentioned earlier, the condition, the age and the associated condition is not great. We really need to start investing in it just to keep them going. And then 3, as I mentioned, we need to go to an alternate water supply, so we need treatment for that. And then secondly, we need to start treating for PFAS, because that legislation is effective, and we're looking at April 2029 currently when it's going to be effective. Only thing that future task orders, you know, there's obviously more down the line. It's for the city a huge project, I have to be honest, but yeah, that's what you're staring at. Any questions?
Does anybody have any questions at this time?
I have quite a few.
Okay.
I remember when we did the East Water Treatment Plant, okay, and we did the hourglass, because I went in there and sat in it and walked through it, and I got excited and all that other stuff. And I know about the salt water intrusion and all that other stuff, and I'm glad to see that we're going out west now. I'm saying all that to say this. Boynton has a problem for not taking care of what we have. And that's one of my problems, even from the buildings to the wells, to the waters, to the parks and everything. I'm just saying we need to invest in all of our, what the citizens have given us money to purchase and keep up with. That's my whole take, why it bothers me so. This is long overdue what you all are doing now. When I pass by there and I'd be like saying, oh, they're doing something else now. Now I know what you all are doing. I got tired of looking at those big black pipes, whatever y'all was doing, running them across, and I'm like saying, here we go again, here we go again. Long overdue. I'm all in favor of it.
Thank you.
Just for clarification for the public and the record, this is grant funding. Correct.
Just the portion that we are looking at right now is grant funding.
Right.
So the next steps for us is really to go out for bonds, utility bonds, which will be for the whole 250 million or whatever we finally decide, and it might have to be in phases. So we might have to go for 2 bonds, and we are working with our bond consultants to look at that. We can look at, there are WIFIA loans. There's no grants that are this huge. So you can look at some loans, but right now the interest rates, the way they are, the utility bond market is very similar to what EPA's WIFIA loans will be. So it may not be worth going for WIFIA loans, but we're going to look at all kind of ways. Can we structure something, mix and match? What's the best way to get the best value for each dollar that we that we need to put in the ground?
But for this item specifically, it's grant funding.
Correct. What you're approving right now is grant funded. It's reimbursable grant, so just know that we do the work and then we apply for reimbursements.
Thank you, Poonam. And thank you for the presentation. Like you, Commissioner, I've heard the stories. I've been to both of the plants. Seen the walls deteriorating from the chemicals and just how hard the chemicals are on the buildings. And the city has been in the habit for many years of kicking cans down the road, and utilities has been on the losing end of that can for a long time. We've seen it trying to recover at our wastewater treatment plant with poor financial decisions that our residents depend on our water to be there and to be clean, and our utilities to work. And so it is always frustrating to me when we're looking at having to make decisions like this, that our residents have to carry, that because we kick the can down the road, they're so much worse than they could have been if we had bit the bullet, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, and really invested in our infrastructure. And so this is one of those things where it's a must. I mean, we can't not handle our utilities and do these upgrades. And so, I just thank you, for always being there to explain everything in the process. And but the eye opener is going out there and seeing just how old our equipment is and how our staff is able to still produce and work, and they put Band-Aids on everything to make sure that our residents are not, they don't see an issue and they don't experience a problem. And, as one of those residents, I appreciate that. I appreciate what your staff does. And so I thank you for this. It's a long time coming. I think that, at this point, it is what it is, and we have to grin and bear it. But we've had this conversation in different parts tonight, having to do with, when it comes to, our utilities and annexation and who's footing the bill. And here's just another prime example of where our residents are footing the bill for customers who don't live in the city. And those customers who live outside the city are fighting against us every day to not pay their fair share of what we are providing to them. And so it is, it's frustrating that we, as the, city of Boynton Beach and the residents, are footing this bill, but we are reaping the benefit of clean water too. So I thank you. I'm off my soapbox for tonight, but I don't talk very often this much, but when it's important, I do. And so just thank you for this, and I look forward to seeing some upgrades at our plants. So thank you.
Thank you. If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed resolution number R26-060?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All those in favor of approving resolution number R26-060, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you
I
very
wanna
much.
thank
I
you for
really
everything.
appreciate everything.
I'll turn to the clerk to read item 10C into the record, please.
Proposed ordinance number 26012, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, creating Article 15, abandonment of nuisances of Chapter 15 of the City Code, establishing a public nuisance abatement process, providing for definitions, procedures, hearings before a special magistrate, emergency abatement, enforcement, penalties, and liens, providing for authority consistent with Chapter 166 and Section 893.138 Florida statutes, providing for codification, conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
This is the first reading for this item. Does staff have a presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we're going to be discussing ordinance number 26-012, which is a abatement of nuisances. Section 893.138 of the Florida State Statutes authorizes municipalities to enact procedures, abate public nuisances occurring at places or premises used for certain criminal activities, including unlawful drug activity, prostitution, criminal gang activity, and other specified offenses. This also applies to property used for repeated criminal activity, which constitute public nuisances that threaten the health, safety, and welfare of the community and may adversely affect surrounding neighborhoods, property values, and the quality of life of city residents. The police department routinely responds to locations involving drug activity, prostitution, theft, and other offenses, and this provides a way to address those patterns rather than just individual incidents. This ordinance gives the police department and the city a structured tool to address properties that are repeatedly associated with criminal activity. Currently, arrests and enforcement actions are handled by a case-to-case basis, but some properties continue to generate repeated calls for service. This ordinance is not triggered by isolated complaints, but patterns of documented criminal activity. These locations impact surrounding neighborhoods, reduce the quality of life, and consume a disproportionate amount of police resources. This ordinance gives the police department and the city a structured tool to address properties that are repeatedly associated with criminal activity. This process is based on documented police activity, not unverified complaints. Cases are initiated based on arrest, investigations, and law enforcement reports. The city attorney reviews each case for substantial and competent evidence before proceeding. Property owners are given notice and an opportunity to correct the issue before any hearing. The process is initiated by a complaint by the law enforcement of the police department and is supported by documented law enforcement activity, including arrests and incident reports. The city attorney or designee holds the sole discretion on whether to proceed with an action. Notice requirements include the city attorney reviews for substantial competent evidence. Written notice is provided to the owner summarizing the evidence. The owner is afforded reasonable opportunity to abate the nuisance. How the process works operationally is law enforcement identifies the problem property based on documented police activity and repeated incidents within a 6-month period. The case is reviewed by the city attorney. A notice is made to the property owner. The property is monitored by law enforcement for compliance. The case can be brought before a special magistrate if needed. Corrective actions are taken if a nuisance is found. An example of a nuisance property would be, over a period of months, officers conduct multiple undercover purchases of illegal drugs at a residence, resulting in a search warrant and arrest. Within a 6-month period of the initial arrest, additional investigations show continued drug activity at the same location, leading to a second arrest. Because the property has been repeatedly used for unlawful drug activity within a defined period, it would meet the criteria for a public nuisance under the ordinance. The property owner would then be notified and given an opportunity to abate the issue before any further action is taken. Penalties and recovery. So an order and enforcement. If a nuisance is found, the special magistrate declares the property a nuisance and can order corrective actions. Thereafter, the special magistrate can retain jurisdiction over the property for a year to ensure compliance. Escalation. If there is a continued non-compliance, fines can then be imposed, liens can be placed on the property. In emergency situation, if a property presents an immediate threat to the public safety, the city can take action to secure and close the property, followed by a hearing. The focus on compliance, the goal is to voluntary compliance, and most cases are expected to be resolved after notice. The process is intended to correct behavior and improve conditions after repeated documented criminal activity, not to punish for a single incident. The community impact, this involves neighborhood safety and livability. It reduces repeat calls for service and allows officers to allocate resources more effectively. And I'm available for questions.
My question is to the city attorney. I thought we already had this on these books in Boynton.
So what you had there was a chronic nuisance, and the way that worked is you had to have multiple incidents within a 30-day period, and then it gave the city to have that fixed. That time period of enforcement was 30 days. So what would happen is maybe they do it 1 month, but they don't do it again for 2 more months. That can't be deemed a chronic nuisance. Additionally, there was really no way to create fines. What the chronic nuisance did was it allowed the city to expend funds to correct the property. But the city doesn't have, a nest egg of funds to do this. So what this does, it puts the onus more on the property owner to fix it. And if they don't fix it, then there's fines. So it's a different mechanism.
So the other one is going away?
It's not. My recommendation would be that ultimately I don't think it's used and we probably should take it off the books, but right now it will remain on the books.
Had we had this in order, it would have solved the problem with the inn, though. Correct. And some other issues
for
that
example,
we have that
with
are
the
chronic
hotel that you
properties,
had
yeah.
with the repeated prostitution, we could have, if we had had this in place, we could have deemed that a nuisance problem, and we could have required them to do certain things like background checks of their tenants or no 1-hour rentals and those sorts of things. This is a better mechanism to handle the.
So stop right there. So why would we try to have 2 things on the book? I'm just saying that the other one wasn't working.
If you want me direction to remove it, I will do that, but I can't just remove it without direction from the commission.
I'll support that. I think it makes sense if we have contradictory or potentially contradictory that we either look at it like together.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could
that
remove that one,
makes
and this
sense.
one is tighter.
Point of order, Mayor. We're talking about something that's not in front of us right now. Let's get back to what's on the agenda item. And so what's in front of us is this over here. I have no problem supporting something later down the road if there's consensus to bring that back. But right now, what we're looking at is the 6-month window.
I beg the difference. It's not in front of us now because you wasn't here when it was put in front of this commission. I'm just saying, this is what happens when you have old people that's been on there before. I'm just saying.
And this is why we have to create new things, because a lot of things haven't been done.
But we need to clean them up. I understand what you're saying.
Okay,
but
we're
we
going to
need
stop
clean it
this.
up.
We're not going to do this. We're going to do this one right now. We can bring it back, that we
Perfect.
will remove it. The other one didn't work as long as I've lived in this city, so we obviously need this tightened up. It's not something that we need to take to Congress to get it done.
Right.
So let's just move on.
Great.
Any other comments, or we
No,
can,
I
we
just
call the
think that
vote?
there's no tolerance for child trafficking, drug dealing, and
Agreed.
prostitution. That's it. That's what this is about. Does the city want to tolerate this, or do they not? For me, I'm not tolerating it, and I'll do everything I can to support whatever ordinance we can do to prevent what happened at the Boynton Inn when a 15-year-old girl was child trafficked. That is unexceptable.
Or
There
the
is no
multiple drug
justification
busts
for that.
at Pelican or
Pelican
everything we've been
Point,
dealing with for years.
homing in, I
Yeah.
mean, so many, and not just commercial properties, residential properties also.
Mm-hmm.
That unfortunately, we can't do anything because of what the city attorney had mentioned is, there's an arrest, that arrest needs to be just, and then it needs to go through legal process, and how long does that take? Usually longer than 30 days. And so I want to make sure that, again, this isn't a targeting method, right? But if there's a property, whether it's residential, commercial, and there's child trafficking, drug dealing, prostitution going on there, absolutely unacceptable. We have to have the teeth to stop that.
And the one thing that we know is when a property gets busted, they lay low for a little bit. So we need that extended period of time.
Can we, sorry.
Yes, no.
Yeah, my whole take is, I understand what you're saying, Mayor, you have your opinion, I have mine, but I'm saying right now, we have enough ordinance on the books, I'm just saying, we could put this one into, I'm in favor of putting it in, but let's put something in so we can come back and take the other one out, that's all I'm saying, instead of keep building up ordinance and ordinance and ordinance.
Right, so city attorney, so I guess what we need to look at is the ordinance that we currently have on the book and see if it's combined with other things. And obviously, if there's language.
These are totally
Right.
different mechanisms and the way they're going to run. One is under the special magistrate process. The chronic nuisance was not. And the chronic nuisance was for the city to pay money to fix a problem. What this does is it puts the onus on the homeowner to pay the money.
Now, I understand you went further on explaining it, okay? I can go along with it now, let's move.
Tammy, there's no public comment because it is first reading. If there's nothing else, do we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 26-012? We have a motion, we have a second. Let's turn to the clerk for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner McCray?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Turkin?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
In a roll call vote, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. I'll turn to the clerk to read item 10D into the record, please.
Proposed ordinance number 26-013, first reading, an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, codifying resolution number R15-136, which created a Community Redevelopment Agency Advisory Board, establishing composition qualifications, appointment procedures, and duties, providing for codification, providing for severability, providing for conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
This is the first reading for this item. Staff, would you like to do your presentation?
Yeah, no PowerPoint, I'll just speak briefly. Ian Gregorczyk, Assistant City Attorney. As you all know, the city already has a CRA advisory board. That board was created by a resolution. We actually have no ordinance in place for that board. So all I've done here is just taken the language from the resolution, put it into the form of an ordinance. There's no changes, there's no updates. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Commissioner Kelly?
And this is strictly just for it to comply and flow with how our other boards are written, correct? This is
Every other
just a
advisory
cleanup.
board has an ordinance, so it's just to put everything in one place.
Perfect, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the commission? There's no public comment at this reading. We have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 26-013. We have a second. Let's turn to the clerk for roll call.
Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Commissioner McCray?
Yes.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Turkin?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
In a roll call vote, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. Okay.
Before we go, I have some comments that I need to make. I'm just saying before we go, and this is the time to do it.
Yes.
Okay, when everybody's sitting up here, we're adults. We're going to agree to disagree because we're human. But I'm just saying I'm not kicking anything down the road, and I don't like anybody saying, it's not congressional this and congressional that. I'm just saying that's a way to talk to anybody that's adults that's sitting up here. And I want to say right now, I will respect those that respect me. Thank you.
One more thing. I just think at the end of the meetings, we can say these things, or I would like to stick to the agendas and then either do it in informational or at the end, so that we just stay on agenda through the whole meeting. So I'd greatly appreciate that moving forward. So does anyone else have any final comments, or do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion to adjourn, and we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously with no further business to discuss. This meeting is adjourned at, I can't see the clock, 8:47 PM. I want to
Good night,
thank everyone
everyone.
tonight.
Good night.
Good night.